All right, we are back here for the Stars Championship Night Fight Race. Before we get started with the 206 Stars Final, we're going to send it on down to Xander Clements here, who's got Talon Yockel, your winner from the KZ Stars race.
Talon, we were talking a little bit there just before this one underway. Vincenzo Saraceno was on you, especially in that second half, and then made that move on the first lap. How are you feeling through that whole pre-final? Did you feel the heat?
Yeah, I felt the heat a little bit, but I just kept my cool the whole time, tried to keep the lead. He did have a few opportunities on me throughout the race, but I just held the line and I finished P1, so I'm happy.
Compared to yesterday here, how's the track been progressing? Are we expecting a lot of the same? The temperature's obviously similar, a little more rubber down. Is it going to change a lot tonight?
I feel like with the sun dropping tonight, temperatures are going to drop and grip's going to come up a lot. I noticed that with this track being my home track.
Well, it's a good run here on your home track, Talon. Best of luck. We'll see you in the main event later on under the lights.
Thank you.
Back to you boys in the booth.
Yeah, thank you, Xander. Talon Yockel feeling confident going into that KZ Stars race later tonight under the lights. But right now, the 206 Stars Final getting ready to go underway. Christopher McKeithen on pole position, but on his outside, Mick Gabriel. Second row is going to be Ryan Kastner and Jack Sakina. Third row, Luke DaCosta and Derek Sokol. Fourth row, Riley Scott, Matthew Darlison. Fifth row, James Brassel and Austin Johnson. That's going to round out your top 10 here as they round the final corner and get ready to get going green.
We see Christopher McKeithen leading the field down into turn one here. Mick Gabriel on the outside. They're going to step on the gas and look for that light to go out. And it does. We're green going into turn one, and McKeithen going to slide into that first spot. Looks like Kasner going to fall in behind him. Mick slides into third, and DaCosta slides back down into fifth. I want to say that's Tsukina and Yockel on the outside.
Yeah, it's a
and Kasner going to make a late dive there. That was pretty risky.
Yeah, what a start from Ryan Kastner from third to second in the first corner, second to first there in turn four. He went from third to first there in the first lap. As they round turn six here, Kastner, your leader, Christopher McKeithen second. Mick Gabriel lost a spot there, but he's looking to be a little patient here, I think, in this final.
Yeah, Mick Gabriel, definitely one of the guys you're going to want to keep an eye on in this final, and he's been strong all weekend, skipped one of the heat races to work on his KA setup. Said he just really wanted to focus there and get his card up to speed, and he's definitely dialed in this 206 class. He's been the fastest all day as Ryan Kasner leads us around lap one, and it looks like McKeithen going to throw it in on the inside, and he will. Mick Gabriel going to fall in behind him as Tsukina tries to poke a nose on Kasner, but Kasner shuts the door and slots back into third position.
Yeah, that's 206 racing for you from first to third in one corner. But look at this. I mean, it's a 7-cart train here in 206 Stars as they head out of turn four, down to 5 and 6 here. McKeithen, your leader, but Mick Gabriel's hot in his tail. As they come out of 6 here, a little wide there for Ryan Kastner. That's going to give Mick Gabriel a little bit of breathing room. Mick might make a move here. No, he doesn't. McKeithen, still your leader as they head into the hairpin.
McKeithen leading the field through turn one as Mick Gabriel comes up to that back bumper and gives him a push. Alex, we've talked all weekend. Drafting is everything at this track, especially in a low horsepower class like 206. You see these front guys now all filing into line, trying to stay in that draft as Kasner comes up to the back of Mick Gabriel. McKeithen going to lead another lap, and Mick goes to the inside there. Kasner's going to follow, add in Tsukina. Yeah. So from first to fourth in one corner, McKeithen the biggest loser there. And
yeah, good move there from Mick. Mick, I know he likes leading the race. His kart has been on rails all weekend long. I mean, it shows you how confident he was. He even skipped a heat race to work on his KA kart, and here he is leading the final. Looking further down the order, though, I do not see Eric Fagan.
No Eric Fagan. I'm not really sure what's going on there. We saw him earlier today in the pre-final. He was super strong. He's been strong all weekend, and Fagan not in the final tonight. Not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, Eric Fagan was going to be one to watch here in the 206 Stars race, but he's not in it. Up front, though, Mick Gabriel, your leader. Ryan Kastner really close behind him. Ryan Kastner, he was looking to get redemption from his KA Masters race when he was leading pretty comfortably until a mechanical failure happened. Here at 206 Stars, though, in second place, it's a 3-cart breakaway. Mick Gabriel, Ryan Kastner, and Jack Sakina, your top 3.
Yeah, don't forget, yesterday Kastner had a bad break in that second heat when he had that mechanical DNF. Sent him to the back of the field. Obviously, the heats weren't progressive. You really just build points, and that's where you get your pre-final starting position. So Kasner worked his way back up towards the front of the pack here as Mick Kasner and Sukina, I want to say that is, are going at it. And Jack Sukina, purple, last time by with a 56.896. I would expect times to just keep dropping here as the sun is going down. Track's starting to cool down a bit. Times are really going to drop in these next couple races. And right now, Kasner, Mick, and Sukina looking strong, starting to build a gap. McKeithen 4th, Sokol 5th.
Yeah, Ryan Kasner, like you said, a couple of tough breaks in different classes in the heat races. Definitely been one of the more unlucky drivers this weekend. Kasner looking to change his luck around, though, in the Stars 206 Stars final race here under the lights.
Mick Gabriel looking really strong up front right now, but you can't count out Ryan Kasner. He's been so strong all weekend. K100 Masters 206, both on the Maranello kart. He's had that thing absolutely dialed in since the first practice session, but Mick Gabriel, probably one of the top 5 206 drivers in the entire nation. See him up front at Grand Nationals, Spring Nationals, really anywhere he goes, he's up front. So Ryan Kasner on a big playing field right now, and he's holding his own.
Yeah, but down in 4th and 5th, Christopher McKeithen and Derek Sokol have hunted down the leaders. Last time by, Derek Sokol was 2/10 faster than leaders. He went purple, and it's now a 5-cart train as they head into the final corner.
Yeah, Sokol coming on strong.
Oh, and there's contact in the final corner.
Oh, it's DaCosta.
Yeah.
And he's out.
Tough break for him in the 206 Stars final. He's going to be out of this race.
Not sure who was involved with them there, but both carts pretty deep into the barriers.
Yeah, it looks like it's Darlison as well. Darlison and DaCosta out of this race.
Mick Gabriel leading that front pack around that sweeper. And I'll tell you what, those Maranello carts have woken up tonight. They look pretty darn fast right now as you see Sokol pull up to the back of that group. McKeithen going purple last time by with a 56.4, so I think this is going to be a 5-cart battle till the end here. All these guys are looking really solid. But
yeah,
right now, Mick Gabriel keeping them at bay.
Looking further down the field, though, Riley Scott in 6th place. He hasn't really been there all weekend long, which is surprising to me because he's one of the better 206 drivers in the country. But showing up here in the final in P6, if those top 5 start racing, Riley Scott will be right in the mix.
Yeah, small group with Riley Scott at the front, followed by Austin Johnson, Gavin Isaacs, and Hunter Perry. See what those guys can do. If they could play it by ear and make some smart decisions here, we get some battling up front that could very well be in it. But right now, 2 totally different races on. You got your front group and you got your second group, and looks like we got some shuffling around up front there.
Yeah, McKeithen on Sakina there for 3rd place. What a move. They were pretty close together in the 4, but Sakina was very polite and gave him the room. McKeithen up to 3rd place.
Yeah, Christopher McKeithen goes purple last time by with a 56.448. So he's looked strong all weekend, slotting into that 3rd position. But right now, it's all Mick Gabriel and Ryan Kasner up front.
Yeah, this is one of the first times we've actually seen Mick Gabriel up front. I mean, like we said, he missed one of the heat races. The other heat race, he had to start in the back and worked his way to 2nd place. So, I mean,
Kasner, late send into the final corner there. And that's going to stick out. Wow, okay, here we go. Mick Gabriel blocking Sukina way down on the inside of the racetrack, and he's going to have to yield that position. Sokol's going to follow in behind, and Mick's going to go from 1st to 5th in one straightaway.
Wow, Ryan Kasner caught Mick Gabriel lacking in the final corner. Mick Gabriel did not see him coming. Mick Gabriel loses 4 positions down to the 5th place.
Yeah, Kasner not here to make any friends as he had a late move there. Pretty risky for as early on as it is in the race, but bit of a gap between Kasner and McKeithen right now. Those two working together. Sukina and Gabriel right behind. Sokol in there too, so I would suspect to see this group bunch back up together, but look at that. Riley Scott in that second group starting to get a breath of fresh air there as they work up towards that front group. Wow, we could see this turn into a 10-car battle.
Yeah, I mean, more of that racing is what Riley Scott needs. Further up the field, though, McKeithen and Kasner have built a bit of a lead, but that last time by, Sakina, Sokol, and McGabriel have closed that gap back, and it's a 5-cart train once again. It's taken 1 lap from to close that gap back. Riley Scott, a personal best last time by. His car's finally starting to come in a little bit. Like you said, that gap is closed by about a second from the last lap. So we might have a 9-cart train in a few laps' time.
Yeah, as you see Mick Gabriel sticking those inside. And, I want to say McKeithen just went to the lead, and he did. So a couple Couple guys mixing it up in that front group, but so far so good, pretty tame. As you see that second group come into view there, really walking each other down. This 206 class is really tight with this draft, and you get a couple passes, you can really catch up to someone quickly, as Riley Scott is really starting to roll. Haven't really seen much of him all weekend.
Yeah, Gavin Isaacs giving Riley Scott a really good push these final couple laps here, and they're catching up to the leaders. But McKeithen, your pole sitter, back to the front here. Kastner in second, Sakina third. Mick Gabriel a little bit too far back to make a move in the one, but he's right back in this race.
Yeah, Riley Scott leading that second group, followed off by Austin Johnson in the back tail, and they're all doing their personal best laps each time around. But so far, it's Christopher McKeithen to the lead. He's hit 2 purple laps in a row. Last time by, it's a 46.448. So the times continue to drop here as we tick away laps, and these top 5 are nose to tail here. Gosh, this is going to be a really good finish.
Yeah, I mean, I could not tell you right now who I think's going to win this race. I mean, it could be Riley Scott in that second group if these top 5 keep racing around. But right now, they seem to have gotten into a bit of a groove here. They know that if they want to win this race, they need to keep working together here.
You know, in most of the other classes where it's two-stroke, you got a lot of power. Things are a bit more spread out. Draft definitely matters, but this class with such low horsepower, it's so enticing to be sitting behind someone and hold yourself back from making that move. But right now, these guys are playing it smart. As you see Ryan Kasner give Sukina a nod down the front stretch after he gets a nice push coming out of the final corner, and those front 4 are bunched up tight. I would suspect Mick Gabriel wanting to work his way towards the front again as he's coming on strong this back half.
Yeah, looking a little bit further down, Sokol is starting to lose the toe to that top 4. That's not what you want to have happen here in 206 racing. McKeithen, still your leader, has there's literally nothing in it between him and Kasner. It's really smart racing going on up front, though. Kasner, he knows how to win a race. McKeithen knows how to win. Sakina, all these guys, veterans on the 206 side of things, they all know what it takes to win. And
Zukina off.
And he looks to be out of this race. His hand goes up. Clearly a mechanical issue.
Tough break, man. He was in that front group absolutely rolling, so that marks off Jack Zukina, who I believe was in second at the moment. He's had an awesome weekend so far, and, man, that is a tough break for Zukina.
Man, Jack Sakina, he was in the prime seat there. I mean, third place is kind of where you want to be here for most of this race, but he is now out. That puts McGabriel in third. Sokol's right back in fourth. It's now a 4-cart train. Riley Scott seems to have fallen off just a little bit from that top 4. I don't think he's going to have a play in this one.
Yeah, Riley Scott and his group about 3 seconds back exactly. So if we can get some more battling up front, I would count them in. But so far, it looks pretty clean as Kasner and McKeithen looking strong up front. But all 4 of these drivers are so even. It's almost like the cooler temperatures kind of even the playing field out here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it seems to have a lot of grip out there right now. These guys seem to be loving these cooler temperatures. Sokol, again, though, starting to lose that top 3. McGabriel seems to have a cart that's really good for pushing here as he's giving Kasner and McKeithen a really, really good push down this front straightaway.
Yeah, you can slowly see Mick Gabriel getting a good push down that straight. You can tell Mick's really getting fast here. His cart's starting to come in, so it's one of the things about Mick Gabriel. He's fast at the start of the race, but his cart doesn't go away. That's one of his key attributes to why he's so successful. And
yeah, looking further down, though, Riley Scott actually lost 2 spots there. He lost one to Gavin Isaacs and Hunter Perry. He's down in 7th position. I don't know what happened there, but Riley Scott has fallen back 2 positions.
Yeah, maybe a bad pass or something that caught that group up, so that's pretty much going to mark them out for now. I don't really see them catching this front group unless we got some crazy battling here at the end, which is very well possible. But right now, it's all Christopher McKeithen who's led most of this final.
Yeah, this is a different story than we've seen from most of the weekend. These 206 guys, I think, finally wised up a little bit, and they know if you want to win this race, you need to be in that front group when it matters most. No one's going for moves here these last couple of laps. They know what it takes to win.
100%, and no one's been smarter than Ryan Kasner, who has been locked on to McKeithen's bumper since the start of this race, and Kasner just wants to push away and get going with this thing, and I can guarantee you these last 3 laps are going to be a wild one with these top 4 drivers.
Yeah, Sokol just staying in the mix. He seems to lose the draft in the infield, but gets it all back on the last few corners. Again, though, Kasner, like you said, really, really smart, just pushing McKeithen all the way. I would not want to be in McKeithen's position right now. I mean, leading every single lap pretty much, but again, he knows how easy it is to pass you at the draft, and leading this race is not the best place to be.
Yeah, we've seen it all weekend. Sokol might have a taller gear on as he really pulls up to that group in the infield, but going down that front stretch, he seems to lose him just a tiny bit as Christopher McKeithen going to bring him around one more time here. And those top three, Kasner, Mick, and McKeithen, are nose to tail. So you see Sokol kind of fall off on the straights like I said there.
Yeah, Sokol. Again, he's going to get him right back, though, through turn 4. He's been doing that all race long. I'm really curious when these guys are going to make their move here. I can't see it happening for another couple laps here. I mean, I think McKeithen's good for now, but Kasner just being smart, and McGabriel knows sitting in third is probably the best place to be on the final lap.
Yeah, these front four are playing it safe right now, and it's paid off because that second group has dropped back a whole nother second and a half. So it looks like it's going to be one of these 4 drivers for your winner. Yeah. Something I've loved about this series, they always have a strong 206 class.
Yeah, I mean, 206 racing, notorious for having close racing. I mean, you and I would know for sure. We've done a bunch of 206 races in the past, and no one's able to pull away in 206, no matter how fast you are.
Yeah, especially here at GoPro Motorplex, as McKeithen goes purple last time by with the 56.4, so Christopher really showing the way of this field right now, even with no draft. And I'm Mick Gabriel going to send the move on Ryan Kasner. I had a feeling Mick wasn't going to wait around too long in third. He likes to be up front, and that's going to send Kasner into third with his teammate on his rear.
Yeah, you can see that move happening from turn
2. Kasner almost loses it there. He dropped a wheel in a big way, and luckily he's got his teammate to back him up there. But Kasner hanging it all out there right now. Might have just looked up from the wheel for a second and lost it, but
yeah, I was going to mention Kasner might be struggling with setup here because in turn 2 he got all out of shape. That gave Mick Gabriel a really good run down to 4, and that's how he got by him here. Looks like we're coming to 2 to go here. Yes, 2 to go as Mick Gabriel's going to go down the inside of Christopher McKeithen. Kasner's going to try to follow him through. They're bumper to bumper. Mick Gabriel's your leader. Kasner second. McKeithen from first to third in one corner. That's how easy it is in 206. Mick Gabriel might have a bit of a lead now with that pass, but Kasner's going to get right back in his bumper going on to 4.
Yeah, Kasner's going to suck up into that draft going down that backstretch, and he gets a little out of shape going around that sweeper there. If Mick can tick off a lap here, he might have a shot at pulling this thing off, as Kasner is followed by McKeithen and then Sokol. But right now it's Quick Mick out front, and McKeithen throws in a questionable move for
there's contact, and they're both out of the race. McKeithen and Kasner make contact in the hairpin, and they're both out of this race. McGabriel now has been given a free victory unless Sokol can catch up to him.
McKeithen out of the cart with that wreck, and Kasner saying, "What are you doing?" 2 laps to go, and he is not happy with McKeithen. These drivers are going at it here. And honestly, I have to say, Alex, I can't blame Ryan Kasner. That was a super questionable move. And, yeah, I really don't see Sokol catching up to Mick Gabriel in this final lap. But Ryan Kasner not happy with McKeithen there. That was a very questionable move. Mick Gabriel with 5-car length advantage. And McKeithen sent it a bit too late there. Those two got together. And
yeah, like you said, Kasner gave McKeithen the go-ahead. I think Kasner thought McKeithen would push him up to Mick Gabriel, but McKeithen had other plans. I think that door was never really open. McKeithen kind of threw it in there and just collected the side of his bumper with his tire and just went on top of him. Luckily, they're both okay, but clearly Kasner not happy at all. McKeithen.
Yeah, you see those two talking it over, and they're really not happy with each other. We look back in the pack. We got some battling back there.
Yeah. But further back, though, we have Hunter Perry trying to hold off Gavin Isaacs for that final podium position here.
But it's going to be all Mick Gabriel. He played it smart. He went to the front, and what do you know? Mick Gabriel comes across. He is your 206 winner.
Yeah, further down the order, Derek Sokol second. Who's going to get third place here? Hunter Perry, third place. Gavin Isaacs
Hunter Perry. Good for Hunter Perry out of nowhere. And, folks, I'm looking back out into the infield, and Ryan Kasner is still going at McKeithen. They are not happy out there. There's a full-out argument. So those two talking it over, not happy with each other. And you got to feel for Ryan Kasner. He's had a bit of a rough weekend in the 206. He's played it smart all weekend long, never left McKeithen's bumper the whole race, and then McKeithen threw in a late pass on him. Can't blame him. McKeithen definitely had the pace there, but, man, tough break for those two. But Mick Gabriel is your winner of your 206 Stars class. Good for him. Nothing new there with Derek Sokol playing it safe in second. Kind of laid back most of that race, but once he had that wreck go down, he was kind of stuck in second. There was no way he was catching Mick there. And
Yeah.
Man, Kastner is not happy with McKeith, and rightfully so. And
Yeah, like you said, Kastner, I mean, I think he's been the most unlucky driver all weekend. I mean, if it's not a mechanical issue, he's getting taken out of the race here. McKeithen, I think that was a little ambitious of a move. I'd have to see it again, though, of course, because I've only seen it in live time. But Kastner visibly upset at McKeithen here.
yeah, and I'm looking at Ryan Kastner's Maranello right now, and it's not looking too pretty. There's a lot of damage on that car, bodywork, steering, so definitely not the way you want to end the weekend with a bent-up car and a wrecked finish in the final. But Mick Gabriel, your winner of the 206 Stars class, and he really came on strong in the back half of that final. I think wreck or no wreck, he would have been one of my favorites to win there. As we zoom in on Kastner rolling back to the scales, we'll have to catch up with him later.
Yeah, Mick Gabriel, I mean, I think that was in the plans the whole time. Sitting third all race long, and he went from third to first in one lap there, and from there, that incident happened and gave Mick Gabriel a pretty free win there.
All right, as we see Ryan Kastner scooter the Maranello back to the grid. Never something you want to see, but Mick Gabriel, your 206 Stars winner, and I think we're going to take this opportunity to head over to a quick commercial break as we had an awesome first race of our finals tonight. More to come. Only bigger classes from here on out. We're here in GoPro Motorplex Night Fight Stars Championship Series, and we'll be right back with you. And welcome back here, folks, to GoPro Motorplex Night Fight Stars Championship Series. And man, what a first final of the night, Alex. That was some crazy stuff to watch as we have our mini stars out on track here. This is definitely going to be another race you're going to stick around for here. These kids are really talented. There's about 6 or 7 guys up front I can name right now that have a solid shot at winning this final.
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, these mini guys, this is the next generation of racers. But like you said earlier, the 206 Stars race, that's going to be a tough act to follow. But if every race can be as good as that one, you're in for an amazing night of racing, guys.
Amen. And starting off here on our front row, we have Lucas Palacio, and on the outside, we have Cade Yeager rounding out your front row. Travis Petit and Carson Weinberg. Row 2, Max Whelan and Isaac Malcuit. Row 3, Benja Fernandez and Henry Taylor. Row 4, Roman McMurray and Sam Tutwiler. Row 5, and Gage Corn, J.J. O'Neill. Row 6 as our field makes their way down the front stretch. Lucas Palacio on your pole. And they're going to get on the gas pretty early as they look for lights out. And a lights out, away we go. Green flag going into turn 1, and Palacio is going to get the jump. Carson Weinberg getting a great start on the outside. And wow, we got a bit of a gap from the front 3.
Yeah, good start there for Palacio. Carson Weinberg already up in the 3rd place. Weinberg's had a really rough weekend so far, but still, his pace has been evident, and he's in 3rd place already.
Yeah, Lucas Palacio leading us through this first lap, and it looks like that inside row had a bad start. As you see Isaac Malcuit pretty far back in the field. I was suspecting him to be up front by the end of this first lap. As you see him, oh, we got one off in a big way going into the hairpin there. Looks like he's all right. He's climbing out of the cart.
Yeah, Malcuit had a really, really good run to the hairpin there, and he made a really solid move there.
Oh, Weinberg, late send in the final corner there. Saw him in the second. That's a driver we've seen. He's been fast all weekend, had some horrible luck in the heats, but he slowly worked his way up through that pre-final, and man, he was clicking off some fast laps all alone, no draft needed. So
yeah, look at Weinberg. I mean, he might even go for a move here in 4. He's going to be patient here, though, but he is a man on a mission. Carson Weinberg into second place already and pushing Palacio to the front.
Yeah, those front 6 carts pretty tight right now as Carson Weinberg gives Lucas Palacio a good shove going through the infield.
Wide there. It's going to give Carson Weinberg a really good shot into 7. But again, Weinberg being really mature, staying behind Palacio. He knows what it takes to win in the mini class. Just as the 206 Stars showed, a group is faster than none. So you're going to see these guys work together, I believe.
Yeah, Weinberg definitely going to be a favorite to win here on the CRG. That kid has been flying all weekend as he works Palacio's back bumper. Man, he's come on strong these first couple laps. We see back half of the field go by there, but Palacio going to keep leading us for another lap here as those front 6 start to figure things out.
Yeah, Cade Yeager has joined the group here in the top 3. Not too far back, though, is Travis Pettit in 4th. Isaac Malquit goes purple last time by with a 53.986, the only driver to be in the 53 so far. He is right there. He's already up a spot. Put Isaac Malquit into 5th place.
Yeah, what a rebound from Malquit's start. He had a horrible start there, but look, he's right back there, and Malquit definitely a favorite of mine to pick this race. He's been so quick all weekend, and man, he is just ultra smooth behind the wheel. Yeah, looking like a veteran out there as you see our front 6 really get grouped up there.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Malquit really good in any series he goes to. So he goes to the inside in the final corner on Travis Pettit. Make that move stick. Isaac Malquit up to 4th place, and he's looking to get a run on Cade Yeager going to the 1.
Yeah, Malquit, another one of those drivers who does the 206 series as well. And, man, his talent is really showing this weekend as Palacio leads us down the backstretch. And Weinberg has had enough. He's ready to go. Make that Malquit into 3rd, too. So we got some swapping going on up front as Weinberg, your leader, I want to say for the first time this weekend, worked his way through the field all day long. You got to give it to the kid.
Yeah, he's been driving so well all weekend long. It was like some synchronized passing.
Oh, Malquit with the late send on the brakes. Saw him get a little loose there, but saw him into the 2nd place. He'll make it stick.
Wow, Weinberg and Malquit, 2 kids on a mission this race. They've moved up so many places already. 1st and 2nd for Carson Weinberg and Isaac Malquit. As they cross the line, Carson Weinberg's actually got a pretty decent lead on Malquit. Palacio knows as the 199 is going to be out of this race. That is unfortunate for him in the Mini Stars final here.
Yeah, that's Sam Tutwiler. That's a tough break for him. Not sure what went wrong there on that car. Thought I saw some sparks flying, but Isaac Malquit, purple last time by and the time before, 53.619.
Yeah, up front, though, Carson Weinberg still is your leader, but Malquit has really closed that gap. Like I was about to say, Palacio has been really strong all weekend long in terms of just being able to be a really good pusher. He knows what it takes to win in this mini class.
So far, so good for Carson Weinberg as he's doing his thing up front. Definitely not his first time there as Malquit throws in a late move there. Those 3 are going to get jumbled up coming down the front stretch. But Isaac, your new leader, and man, what a race he's had so far. He had a horrible start. He's just been chipping away, and now he's leading the race.
Yeah, Malquit up 5 positions. He's now your new leader. If I was these top 3, I'd start working together because they had a pretty decent gap to Cade Yeager, but not anymore. Cade Yeager's right back in the mix, and he's brought 2 carts with him. It's a 6-cart train out front.
Yeah, Yeager is starting to come on strong as well as a couple other those drivers in that back half of that pack. Lots of guys laying down their personal best times right now. The track's getting super fast. As Malquit goes 53.619 last time by, so he is absolutely rolling out front. Those 3, I got a good feeling they may start to check out here. Both of those 3 carts are really rolling tonight.
Yeah, but Weinberg and Malquit, both really aggressive drivers, so I'll be curious to see who wants to lead. Palacio, he's shown that he's been okay with being 2nd and 3rd for most of the race. He's a really, really good pusher. He knows the last lap's the only one that matters when you want to lead it. Last time by, Isaac Malquit goes purple with a 53.493. Weinberg pretty much matches his lap time. Those 2 are so quick right now, and the top 3 starting to pull away again from Cade Yeager. Like you said, I think the top 3, the class of the field so far in this race.
Yeah, you saw Whelan poke a nose on Yeager in that back section of the track, but Yeager shut the door on him. It's in their best interest to push right now as these top 3 guys are really starting to click off good times.
Yeah, I think the problem is Katie Yeager is a little faster than the guys behind him, so they're not really working together. They're kind of just 3 carts doing their own lap times. The top 3, however, are pushing, but that was a really, really good section from Isaac Malkovic. He's kind of gotten a bit of a gap to Weinberg, who has gotten an even bigger gap to Palacio, but Palacio closes it back up in the final corner.
Yeah, Weinberg is glued to that bumper. You see them kind of pull a gap on Palacio, but Palacio bounces back on. Oh! Malkovic gets a little tied up going out of turn 1, and Weinberg poked the nose, but very smartly stuck back in the line there. That was a really veteran move you saw there.
Yeah, Malkovic got really wide in 1, gave Weinberg a peek, but closed the door immediately. And Weinberg all over the back of Malkovic, and now Katie Yeager's already back in the mix. That's a 4, 5, 6 cart breakaway out front.
So far, Isaac Malkovic, Carson Weinberg running the show so far. Worked their way up to the front, and man, they deserve to be there. Both of those kids are driving their butts off right now. Love to see this next generation of karters coming up through the ranks. These kids are going to be around the track for the next 20 years, so we got some bright stars on the way as Malkovic going to lead another lap here, and there's some shuffling going on.
Oh, and Yeager around and
sideways.
Yeah, Yeager's not happy. Yeager popped out and won, decided better of it, and I think the guys behind him went to go follow him and kind of turned him by accident.
Oh, what a tough break for Yeager. It was kind of an awkward situation. He didn't even really spin it, just kind of came to a stop. Luckily, he continued on. I haven't really seen a good look at him. Yeah, he's pretty far back, so he's going to need a lot of battling to get back into play here. And right now, the way these front 3 are racing, I don't think that second group's going to be able to catch him anyways.
Yeah, unfortunately for Travis Pettit, who actually put down the fastest lap at a 53.315, he was involved in that little skirmish with Katie Yeager, so they've kind of dropped back from the top 3. But the top 3 are starting to catch some lap traffic here, so hopefully the lapper gets out of the way. Otherwise, it could cause a bit of a mess here in turn 1. He is going to get out of the way. Good job for the lap car there. As Malkovic, Weinberg, and Palacio, your 3 leaders right now.
Yeah, and a great job by the Stars official to let these lappers know they got the leaders coming back around. And as you see there, Isaac making his way down the backstretch. He's really started to click off some good laps here. See Weinberg still following him there, but gets pulled in this back half of the track here, really after turn 6. So Malkovic on the move.
Yeah, Weinberg, I mean, there's barely ever daylight between him and Malkovic's bumper. He knows this is what it takes to win this race, but Palacio, he's just fine sitting there in 3rd until about 2 to go. I think with 2 to go, everything's going to kick off here in this class.
Travis Petit in 5th. Goes purple last time by with the 53.315, so he's running a bit faster than the leaders, same time as Malkovic, but if he can get together with the right people, he may have a shot. You see those 2 falling behind. Honestly, if I were them, I would just stick to what they're doing right now. They may still have a shot at this thing if these leaders start to battle soon.
Yeah, Pettit and Whalen are working really well together. Like you said, if the top 3 get into it at all, those 4th and 5th drivers are going to be right back in the mix here. They round turn 6. Malkovic still your leader, but Weinberg again glued to his bumper. He knows he's just going to sit there and bide his time until a few laps to go and then maybe make his move. Towards the double right-hander right now, Malkovic looking really smooth. I mean, that kart is on rails, but Weinberg and Palacio last time by did put down their personal bests, so not good for Malkovic as the karts behind him are just getting better and better.
Yeah, with that said, I want to say these 3 are just going to keep opening this gap between Travis and Max. We'll have to see. Max goes purple again last time by 53.315, so I'm sorry, that was Travis. But right now, Isaac doing his thing up front. Weinberg gets a little squirrely there going into the hairpin, but they're all right, rolling out.
Yeah, I
wonder
if these guys watched that 206 Stars race, because we saw Mick Gabriel last time go from 3rd to 1st in that final lap there, so I wonder if these guys are having the same plan here.
Yeah, I can definitely say, I think both of us can agree on this. When you're on grid, watching how the race is going out on track, it definitely affects what you're thinking a little bit. Seeing the intensity or maturity in this case between these 3 drivers up front, who right now have just decided that it's called even. They're pushing each other, and they're going to deal this out in the last 3 laps.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw a blanket over these top 3. They are just matching each other's lap times. I mean, it's pretty much a copy and paste between the top 3. Their karts are all looking so solid.
So you see they gapped the Pettit back there. Really extended the past couple laps. Looks like we're at about 3 seconds. So we've seen it happen in some other heat races earlier on this week, and I wouldn't totally mark out Travis and Max, but we'll just have to wait and see as these three keep working on each other's bumper, and for now, nothing is changing.
Yeah, it's really just going to depend on if Carson Weinberg decides to pass him earlier or not, because he could wait until the last lap for all he wants. I mean, it's his race now. I mean, Malkiewicz is the leader, but I think Carson Weinberg's in the driver's seat here. I mean, he's pushing him around the final corner. They come to the line here. Again, glued to each other. Weinberg and Palacio, their personal best again. Consistent 53 threes. They're about 3 and 4/10 faster than 4th and 5th. So I think they're just going to start gapping those guys even more. You can see their heads move going down to turn 4. That's how hard they're pushing each other. They just know this is what it takes to pull away from this group. You can see Isaac Malkiewicz's strength is definitely that infield. Palacio's strength is in the straightaways. He's dropped back a little bit. That was a good couple corners from Weinberg and Malkiewicz. But again, Palacio under braking gets right back up to their bumpers.
Yeah, we saw earlier today Palacio's really strong in those last couple corners of the infield, coming back onto the front stretch. So definitely something to think about in those last couple laps when you're trying to decide where to make your move on the guy in front of you. And I bet you Carson and Isaac are thinking the same thing. As Carson makes the first real move of the race, really, and Palacio's going to follow him. Make that Carson Weinberg your new leader. Palacio second. Isaac's going to fall back down to third.
Yeah,
these three
I'm
trading
surprised.
some paint.
Yeah, I'm surprised Weinberg went so early. I thought he was going to wait until about 2 to go, but he went a little early there. I think Palacio and Malkiewicz are now in the driver's seat of this race. I thought Weinberg was just going to sit back there, but I guess he thought his card is good enough to lead this race.
Yeah, I think it might have just been he had a really good run coming out of that last corner and thought, I kind of want to go lead this thing for a little bit. So it's definitely always safe out front, but Carson Weinberg running his own race right now. It was a clean, not really a high-risk pass, so I understand it. That CRG is rolling through that final sector.
Yeah, they did.
These front three make their way back onto the front stretch, and Carson Weinberg going to log in his third lap as official leader this race, and Palacio all over that rear bumper.
Yeah, Palacio's been a proven pusher here this weekend, constantly just being in second place and passing for the lead on the last lap. He's probably going to try to do that again here. They're kind of creating a gap here to Isaac Malkiewicz, but Malkiewicz really, really strong through turn 4, gets right back to their bumper.
Yeah, Weinberg looking a bit racy with the pass last lap, kind of threw a look over his shoulder down the straight, kind of suspecting Palacio might make a move there. So Carson Weinberg looking really, really racy on the CRG right now. He's ready for these last couple laps. As Palacio and Malkiewicz laying low for now.
Yeah, that last time by, Weinberg and Palacio actually matched each other's lap time to the thousandths. I mean, that's how close these three drivers are. This is incredible stuff in the Mini Stars class. Heading down towards turn 1. Again, you can see how strong Palacio is on the straightaway. They pull away from Malkiewicz, but again, Malkiewicz's going to get back in this draft, and he's going to probably do a really strong turn 4 like he's been doing it all race long.
Yeah, like you said, last lap, Alex, Weinberg and Palacio look really strong down that backstretch. Maybe Isaac's on a taller gear, not really sure, but Isaac looking really strong through the infield there, and these three nose to tail this entire race.
Looks like we're going to come to 2 to go next time by, so we're going to see some moves start being made here. Weinberg a little wide than the double right-hander. It's going to give Palacio a chance in the final corner. He's probably going to be patient, though, and wait till turn 1 at least. And he does. Round the final corner. 2 laps to go here for Carson Weinberg in the Mini Stars class. Palacio's going to pull out late in turn 1. Inside move. Make it stick. Palacio, your leader. Malkiewicz tried to follow through, but I think he hooked bumpers with Weinberg there, and it's going to cost him a run down to turn 4 here. Palacio's with a massive block on Weinberg. Weinberg on the outside of 4. You can't really pass there. Weinberg in second. Palacio, your leader.
Palacio saw 2 to go and said, let's go. Made an inside move to turn 1, and he stuck it as Carson Weinberg kind of gets into the side of him there. Yeah, both come out unscathed, but it hurt Weinberg a bit as he blocks Malkiewicz behind him, and they got a bit of a gap built up to Palacio. Those two need to work together as Isaac kind of sticking a nose on the outside. He had no option, though. Whoa, Palacio building a bit of a lead there as Weinberg and Malkiewicz got caught up in that last sector, and they're really going to have to hit a flyer here if they want a chance at Palacio. Palacio may as well walk away with this thing right now. He's got a huge lead.
Yeah, I think Palacio slowed down more than Weinberg thought, and he got into the back of him in turn 6. That really cost Weinberg because it compromised his exit. Now Weinberg had to defend from Malkiewicz, and that's why the lead for Palacio is so big.
Yeah, we'll see Isaac's maturity here as he decides to push Weinberg down the backstretch. Lucas out front still has about a 5-car length lead. Weinberg's really going to have to hit some fast corners as we come up on some lap traffic here. See what happens here. I know the officials are waving the flag, but it's kind of up to that lapped Carter. See what he's going to do. And, yeah, Lucas is going to get held up a bit.
Oh, man.
Isaac throws a late move in on Weinberg, and Weinberg shuts the door, but Isaac ends up getting by anyways, as that's going to seal the deal. Lucas Palacio, he's going to be your winner.
Oh, Weinberg moves Malkiewicz all the way up the racetrack as Palacio crosses the line to win the final in Mini Stars. Isaac Malkiewicz second, and Carson Weinberg comes home third. What a race here in Mini Stars.
Lucas Palacio ran a great race there. Kudos to him, and you could definitely see Weinberg was not happy coming across the line, hands up in the air. Man, I don't blame him. Isaac threw in a couple ballsy moves there that kind of separated the two, but at the same time, I think Isaac thought, you're not going to catch the leader, and he wanted to finish second place, so tough break for Cameron Weinberg. Got a feel for him. Came up through the field all weekend long and made his way to the front. He belonged there. He was so fast on that CRG. But good for Lucas Palacio, bringing home the second win of our finals this weekend.
Yeah, that's 2 races in a row now that, for example, in 206 Stars, Mick Gabriel sat in third all race long and ended up with the win. Lucas Palacio, the same thing, sat in third for all the race and then found himself in the lead with a few laps to go, and he won that thing.
Yeah, so patience is key here. So we see Palacio come away with the win. Lucas Palacio going to be your winner, followed by Malkiewicz, Weinberg, Wieland, and Petit to round out your top 5. Cade Yeager, Carter McMurray, Benja Fernandez, Gage Korn, and Roman McCurdy to round out your top 10 for Mini Stars. And that's going to be a wrap for those guys for this weekend. Some awesome racing we saw.
Yeah, what a good race in Mini Stars here. But coming up next, looks like we're going to have K.A. Masters.
K.A. Masters up next. Huge headline coming into this race. Ryan Kasner starting dead last as he was hitting purple lap after purple lap in that pre-final. Man, he had that thing won. Unfortunately, I believe it was the chain popped off. Luckily, there's only 10 karts in the class, but yeah, he's going to have to throw some moves in here lap 1.
Yeah, Kastner, the one to watch in this race. He's been Mr. Unlucky all weekend long. Things always going on for him. He's going to be looking to change his luck in this race. Finally, this is his last chance to get on the podium here.
Yeah, Kasner with a bit of a rough ending to the day so far. Hopefully he can turn that around here. Had the mechanical DNF while he was leading this Masters pre-final, and then we all saw what happened in the 206 Stars class. So let's see what Kasner can muster up here for a finish.
Yeah, as they all come down to turn 7 here, they're all going to get bunched up. Ryan Daniele, it's going to be your pulser. Billy Workman Jr., who's been really, really fast all weekend long, is going to be alongside him on the first row. Derek Sokol in third, Peter Cook in fourth, Chris Stevens and Jared Tracy on the third row, Bob Davis, Gallo Barros in the fourth row, and Ryan Kastner and Thomas Gertzner round out your top 10 here.
It'll be interesting to see what Brian Daniele and Billy Workman decide to do here. Will they work together or kind of battle it out? Daniele seemed to have the overall pace last time we saw these guys on track. As we see him coming to the green flag here, Brian Daniele going to be your pole sitter. And they're off, lights out, green into turn 1, and Brian Daniele is going to get the jump over Workman. Sokol's going to slot into that third place, and look at Kasner already up 3 spots. He knows he's got to move, and he's going for it. As Brian Daniele throws a block on Workman going into that backhand sweeper, and he'll get it.
Yeah, like you said, Ryan Kastner already up a few spots. That was a really, really intense move he tried to go for in turn 3.
Yeah, somebody's in the wall hard. Not exactly sure who that was. We'll get an update on that driver, but Brian Daniele, your leader,
Yeah, Daniele already stretching out his lead on Billy Workman. Derek Sokol in third, going to try to push Workman up to the lead. Looks like that driver got back going, though. I believe that was Thomas Gertzner.
Is Brian Daniele going to be your leader coming around lap 1, and Kasner already halfway through the field. But he's still got some work to do if he wants to catch up to these guys up front. As Workman's going to file in behind Daniele with Sokol.
Yeah, Workman closing that gap on Daniele. Workman's been really, really strong. Arguably the fastest guy in the class, but he seems to just make a few mistakes when it matters. But here on the bumper, Brian Daniele going to 7 here. Not going to make a move. He knows 2 is faster than 1. It's a long race ahead of him. He's going to try to work with Daniele, try to get away from Sokol.
Yeah, Sokol looking pretty strong in that 3rd place on the Maranello. Him and Kasner teammates for the weekend, as we see Brian Daniele charging around. Workman slotting in right behind him, and Sokol's there too. Workman actually missing the corner a bit. That's kind of what we saw in the pre-final. Daniele super consistent, but Workman not so much. If Workman can hit his marks, he's by far the fastest. But right now, the fastest driver on track is Ryan Kasner. Nothing new today. Running a 52.558.
Yeah, what a strong lap from him to open this race up. Ryan Kasner in 5th. Looking to make a pass on 4th here any second now. Ryan Kasner is going to be in that top 3 group in the next coming laps.
Yeah, Kasner on the move, and you see him dive in for another pass. And yeah, Kasner will get it, so put Kasner in that 4th spot. Man, he is coming.
Ryan Kasner is on a mission right now. He wants redemption for all these unlucky races he's been a part of all weekend long. Kasner in 4th. He's the fast guy at the racetrack by far.
Yeah, last time by, it was 0.3 faster than your leader, Brian Daniele, and he goes purple again, a 52.192. And Brian Daniele running a 52.6, so that just kind of gives you some perspective on what Ryan Kasner's doing right now. Taking it to another level, starting dead last. He's already up with the front group as he pulls up to his teammate's bumper there, Sokol. And this will be pretty interesting to see how he treats his teammate. I know Kasner wants to get into that lead position, and he certainly has the pace to lead.
Yeah, I'm sure he got a conversation with Sokol before the race saying, if I get to you, please give me a chance to go for the leaders here. But maybe he'll push Sokol up to the front. We'll see. Still, Daniele, your leader. Workman all over his bumper, and Kasner all over his teammate's bumper. Kasner, he is the fastest guy on the racetrack by 0.5 a lap right now. This is impressive stuff from him.
Yeah, you can even see the back of the cart going around that final corner. Kasner is just on a rail as he pokes the nose on his teammate. I don't know if Sokol sees him. He does. And rightfully so, Sokol lets his teammate into that 3rd position. I'm not sure Sokol has the pace to get to those front 2 anyways, so honestly a smart move by him. But those Maranello carts are absolutely rolling this weekend as Brian Daniele leads the field.
Yeah, Kasner up to 3rd place. What a move on his teammate there. Kasner goes purple again, 0.4 faster than anybody else on the racetrack. He is already trying to make a move on Workman here.
And he sends it down to the inside of Workman. You could see that coming from a mile away. Ryan Kasner on a move.
Yeah, he's a man on a mission right now. Already up to P2. It's been 3 laps, and he's gone from 10th to 2nd place. He's looking to get Daniele in the coming laps.
Yeah, I would fully expect to see Ryan Kasner come up to the back of Daniele and make a move as soon as possible. He may even have the pace to build a bit of a gap right now. We'll have to see. You got to wonder, though, did he overheat the tires a bit coming through the field? I know these top leaders are kind of laying low right now, but based off the pace he has, I don't think it's even really going to be a problem as he pulls up to the back of Daniele going down the backstretch.
Yeah, Kasner, purple again. His favorite color must be purple because that's all he knows right now. Kasner, P2, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if he goes for a move in turn 7 on Daniele.
Yeah, 52.138 last time around, and I would fully expect a move here into the hairpin. Now, he plays it safe.
Oh, Workman puts the bumper to the back of Kasner there. Not going to make it stick, but that was really close for Kasner. Stays in 2nd place, but Workman, I think, outbraked himself in the hairpin and almost lost it there.
Yeah, and after that 206 final, I can promise you Ryan Kasner's not going to take much of that tonight, as he's a man on a mission right now, hunting down Brian Daniele. Kasner just going purple lap after purple lap. Daniele does his best yet, a 52.3.
Yeah, like you said, I wonder if Kasner put his tires a little high on pressure to make the moves. I think he's worked through the field faster than even he thought he was going to do it. Already up to 2nd place, but not closing the gap as much as I thought he would on Daniele.
Yeah, Kasner showing that speed throughout this race, but he's really going to need about like a 3-4 tenths advantage on these other guys. As he pokes a nose going into the hairpin in here, and Kasner's going to lead for the first time. Workman follows him in the second. Throws Sokol in the third place. So Brian Daniele first to fourth in one corner as Workman kind of did him dirty there. But good move by Workman. But we got Ryan Kasner up front from dead last, folks. Yeah. Driving his butt off right now, and now we'll finally get to see, does he have enough speed to pull away? I know Billy Workman Jr. has been really strong in the back half of these races. He goes pretty low on tire pressure, so we'll have to see. But Kasner starting to open up a bit of a gap going down the backstretch.
Yeah, Kasner really, really strong opening couple of laps here. Like you said, Workman known for his lower tire pressures. Last lap had an opportunistic move there to follow Kasner through, and he made it stick. But he was a little wide in 6. It's not going to hurt him too much, though, as they head towards 7.
Kasner looking really strong in that infield as you see him pull out to that 3-kart length lead right there. You got to give him credit. It's never easy to go from a DNF to go right into your next race and start last, go to first, erase your memory.
Yeah, I mean, look, that kart is on rails. I haven't seen his hands move once all race long. Kasner goes purple, 52.018. Unbelievable stuff we're watching here from Ryan Kasner.
See Daniele throw in a late move on Sokol at the end of the straightaway there. That's going to build a bit of a gap between them and Workman. That's not going to help Workman's case as he needs Daniele on his rear bumper to help him run down Kasner. But right now, Kasner looking strong.
Yeah, Daniele, good move there on Sokol. He's already closing that gap a little bit to Workman, but like you said, Workman's going to want Daniele to get on his bumper so he can have a chance to catch Kasner, who seems to be on a rocket right now. Kasner continuing to extend that lead over Workman. Daniele all over Billy Workman as they head towards the final corner. I expect Daniele to make a move on Workman anytime soon.
Yeah, Workman really going to have to throw down some quick laps if he wants to stay with Kasner right now. Kasner on the move. Really haven't seen anyone pull away in KA all weekend besides Hayden Jones earlier, but even with Hayden's fast pace, he had a couple passes that allowed that. Kasner's done it all on his own from 10th to 1st, dead last. Bouncing back from that pre-final DNF, and he leads the way.
Yeah, I mean, the gap has kind of maintained the same for the past few laps here. Workman closing that gap just a little bit on Kasner exiting 6th, but still, Kasner's got it all under control here so far as they exit the hairpin.
Yeah, we won't really know until a couple laps from now, but as Kasner really overworked those tires coming up through the field, while Billy Workman's kind of just been conserving his kart. I know Workman gets faster as the race goes on, so we'll have to see as the field makes their way through the final turn there. And
yeah, and look at that, Billy Workman Jr.
52.
Purple.
Oh, that's an absolute flyer.
Yeah, he's coming back at Ryan Kasner here. Let's see if Daniele can get the Workman's bumper, because if they can go 2 against 1 here, that's going to be a pretty easy pass for Workman.
Yeah, Sokol's falling off of these top 3, making it a 3-kart group leading your KA Masters final here as Kasner still shows the way.
Yeah, Workman's really closed that gap, though, to Kasner all over his bumper now. This is going to get really close for these final couple of laps here. Daniele still on Billy Workman's tail, so it's going to be a 3-kart race here. They've kind of dropped Derek Sokol, who's 1.5 back from the leader. But again, if these guys race, Derek will be right back in that race.
Yeah, right now, Billy looks like he has the faster kart as he went purple last time by, but Kasner overall more consistent.
As Brian Daniele goes purple, they are just trading purple lap times right now. I cannot tell you who's faster on the racetrack right now. It looks to me that Brian Daniele's kart has really come alive right now. As Workman to the inside in turn 4, they're bumper to bumper, rubbing tires, and Workman to the lead of the race. No, Kasner fights back into 5 all over the curbing, and there's contact. Workman
goes around, and it looks like Kasner has damage. That's going to give Brian Daniele the lead as he takes off. Kasner continues, but I swear I thought I saw something bend on that kart. Not really sure, but Workman and Kasner, not really sure what they're doing. I don't think Kasner wanted to give up the lead there. Didn't really have the option to, though, either. They kind of went too wide and got jumbled up on each other there as Workman went way up in the air.
Yeah, I mean,
tough break for those two. Oh, man, you got to feel for Kasner. What a just disastrous 2 finals he's had today. He drove his butt off here.
It looks to me that his steering wheel is facing the totally opposite way. He's definitely got some issues with the toe on that car. He's just going to try to limp this home to the finish here. That's going to give Daniele a pretty free win here. Again, Ryan Kastner, Mr. Unlucky all weekend long. He's barely finished the race, but he's been arguably the fastest guy in 206 and KA.
Gotta feel for Kastner as our laps are starting to wind down here in our KA Masters final. Kastner with both damage on both his 206 and KA kart this weekend. Man, he deserves such better results. You gotta feel for him. As Brian Daniele, Christmas comes early for him. He's way off in his own field right now.
Yeah, Daniele is just, he's got this one kind of locked up here, unless some mechanical thing happens. I don't want to wish that on anybody, though, as Kastner crosses the line. Definitely got issues with that go-kart.
Yeah, Kastner comes across the line, and his steering wheel's close to being inverted. I'm not even sure how he's driving that thing, but you got to give it to him. Still holding off his teammate Sokol, so Ryan Kastner holding in strong. Bashed him a little hard there. He's still hanging in a tough P2.
Yeah, Brian Daniele is still your leader by 2.5 seconds. He's probably going to look back and realize he's got a big gap. He can just do a few qualifying laps and win this one. Derek Sokol is going to be on the back of Kastner any minute now, because Kastner, again, like you said, has pretty much an inverted steering wheel. I don't know what he's doing, but that kart, clearly, he's still confident in that go-kart. He wants to get a finish here because he hasn't done that much all weekend long.
Oh, yeah, and based off the way he's rolling right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays in that podium. I'm not sure if we can get a shot on Kastner or not, but that steering wheel is totally inverted. I don't even know how he's driving it, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, this is impressive stuff from Ryan Kastner. Obviously, he'd much rather be fighting for the win right now, but I think this is just as impressive, if not more. That steering wheel not facing straight, facing him pretty much, so he's got his teammate on his bumper now. Be curious to see if he even fights him or not.
Yeah, I doubt Kastner gets too feisty with his teammate here. He's probably just more focused about driving that kart on the asphalt, as Brian Daniele up front in a league of his own right now. Yeah. You see Kastner and Sokol working their way around the track. Kastner's kart's so dialed in, steering wheel's inverted, and he's still clicking off decent times, so you got to give it to the man. Well, as we look further back, looks like there is some contact further back in the field. I want to say that was Chris Stevens got together with someone else. As we look back at Kastner and Sokol, best battle on track right now.
Yeah, I mean, Kastner still somehow in second place. He hasn't given up it yet for his teammate. He might try to race his teammate for second place here, because looking back, Peter Cook is in fourth, 4 seconds back from these guys in second and third, so they can afford to race just a little bit. But again, Kastner matching the pace of Derek Sokol and Daniele, even with that inverted steering wheel. So, I mean, this is impressive stuff from him.
Yeah, Kastner with heavy damage, and somehow he's only a couple tenths off of kind of where he was earlier. As you see his teammate behind him, look at that steering wheel, totally bent. And man, he's literally driving that thing, just dying for this final to be over. Man, I can guarantee he just wants this race over.
Yeah, these are definitely the longest laps Ryan Kastner's driven in a long time. That gap to Daniele's, though, is continuing to grow as expected. I mean, Kastner's just limping this kart home. Sokol still can't get around him, though. Kastner not making it easy on his teammate.
Yeah, Brian Daniele way out front with this thing. All he's got to do is hit his marks and run a half-decent lap time, and he'll come home winner of your KA Masters class. No fluke, though. He was there all weekend long, showed great pace. Honestly, was the best on track at times. Very consistent driver. Yeah. As we watch Kastner and Sokol teammates battle it out. And I do not know how Kastner's doing this right now. That kart on a rail. I think the rear bumper is rubbing that back left tire. So yeah, Kastner's got to be careful here. Yeah, you can see it off the back left side of the kart. That's going to create all sorts of issues for Kastner. Kastner can literally not have this final end any sooner, as we're starting to get ready for 2 to go here. Brian Daniele.
Yeah, this race has gotten worse and worse for Ryan Kastner. He's just praying that these 2 laps go by quicker than usual here. Ryan Kastner, he's been a top 3 guy in KA Masters in 206 all weekend long. but pretty much has DNF'd in almost every race due to mechanicals or being involved in incidents. Again, involved in an incident this race. This time he's still in it and in a chance for a podium, but again, you said his bumper is rubbing his left rear tire and his steering wheel is just completely facing the wrong way.
And Brian Daniele's going to come across the line with 2 to go here. 4 seconds behind. Kasner limping that cart home with his teammate on his rear, and you can start to see trails of smoke coming off Kasner's cart. All sorts of damage on that Maranello, but honestly, the cart's half decent. That shows you how fast that cart was before it took that damage. But you got to give it to Kasner, working through lap traffic with the bent steering wheel.
Yeah, hopefully this lapper gets out of the way soon here for Ryan Kasner. He hasn't gotten out of the way yet, but I think he will right here. Not yet. Kasner is going to get caught up by Sokol again. Final lapper gets out of the way. Sokol's got a good run into turn 8 here. Not going to be enough, though, as Kasner's going to hold on here. Coming to the white flag for Brian Daniele, who's got a pretty clean sailing way to the finish here.
Daniele with probably the easiest last lap you could come up with for him, as we see Kasner and Sokol work past that lap traffic. Stars has done an awesome job this weekend with lappers. Their lighting system out here is top notch. Literally the same thing the F1 drivers are seeing out on track. So you got to give it to this series. They're giving their drivers the best.
Sokol goes down the inside of Ryan Kasner on the last lap. Sokol takes that second position away from Ryan Kasner.
So we see Brian Daniele way ahead. Kind of had a feeling Sokol was going to throw in a move there. There's just no way Kasner could hold him off for that long. But man, what a weekend for Brian Daniele. Strong all weekend long. He was always there at the fight. And Christmas came early for Daniele. Coming across the line with your KA Masters win. 2 hands in the air, and he'll win by 4 seconds. Sokol and Kasner make their way around, and Kasner's going to stick a nose in on the inside there. It's a Maranello podium, 2-3.
Yeah, you can see how much that win meant to Brian Daniele. He drove an awesome race and an awesome weekend for him. He's been one of the faster guys in this class all weekend long. You got to feel for Kasner, though. I mean, he might have had a pretty easy way to win that race. He was fast. But again, Daniele, his car came in towards the end of that race, so I can't say it would have been Kasner's race anyways. But again, Kasner involved in the incident in pretty much every single race he's been involved in.
Yeah, Brian Daniele definitely deserving that win. And Sokol and Kasner rounding out your podium, followed by Peter Cook in your 4th place position. Jared Tracy rounding out your top 5. Chris Stevens, Gallo Barros, Bob Davis, Tom Gersterner, and Billy Workman rounded out your top 10. We obviously saw that incident with Billy Workman. 3 finals in, and each one's just getting better and better here under the lights at GoPro Motorplex. We're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with our KA Junior Stars. This next race is going to be an absolute showdown. It's Night Fight.
You're looking for top-grade equipment? Look no further than Rev Performance Materials engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at revperformancematerials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials. Parolin USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com. Welcome back here to the Stars Championship Series night fight at Gopher Motorplex. My name's Xander Clements, alongside me, Jed Perkins, as we get set for the KA Junior main event here tonight. 36 drivers strong. We saw a pretty action-packed pre-final with a bunch of different faces coming and going throughout the session. We've got a little bit to talk about to wrap up the story from KA Masters. Alex Searle is down on the scale area trying to see who he can get a word with after that crazy, chaotic crash midway through the final for the lead. It's a tough place to go side by side. It turns 5 and 6 here at Gopher Motorplex. Hardly ever works out. The juniors here, we'll see what they do, because they managed to get at least all of them through the pre-final without any red flags or issues. Will the main event be nice and clean? Will we have some carnage up front? We're about to find out. Aiden Patty, Max Taylor on the front row, and it's a nice jump for the inside lane as the lights go out. We're racing down to turn 1. We got a couple turned around. 3, 4, 5, 6. About 8 cars collected in turn number 1. No one's up and over, but they are stuck together. And so Aiden Patty gets away with the lead. Taylor into second. And the rest of the field trying to all get cleared over in 1 and 2. It's a yard sale in the first corner as the leaders come through turn number 6.
Yeah, I thought we have to go to a red flag here, but lots of guys taking out in that first turn as Lando Kart Nation up front. Max Taylor and Aiden Patty leading the way here. Those guys have been strong all weekend. Those carts are really dialed in, so definitely two of my favorites to win this final here as we see some crazy action going on mid-pack there.
Yeah, lots of shuffling in the back of the field here. 5 drivers up front at the end of lap number 1. They'll lead the way down the front straightaway here into turn number 1. While they do that, let's go ahead and we'll pick up our field over through the first corner. There's the last turn right there. We'll wait for the field to come out of the final turn number 3. Here they go down the back straightaway. Max Taylor's gone through on Aiden Patty to the lead into turn number 4. And we'll pick them up, and we'll also go and grab some information from that KA Masters field. Alexander Searle is caught up down in the scale line with Ryan Kastner after what was a crazy ending to his main event. Alex?
Yeah, thank you, Xander. I'm here with Ryan Kastner. Ryan, you just had a really unlucky weekend all weekend long. Talk about that KA Masters race and what happened between you and Billy Workman there.
Man, first off, I'd just like to say that, like, all the master guys that we've been running, like, they're very good, very respectful. Me and Workman getting together there, that was 100% on me. That was where I just needed to back off and give him the corner and continue to race for the next 8 minutes of racing. I just got over my head, and I can't. I don't want that to be what we are, and I don't want to race like that. And I'm sorry for Workman and getting into him like that. I just need to show some patience on that and back it off. The top 4, we all had pace, and driving up through, like, I was hoping that they wouldn't squirt away, and I was able to get back up there and get back to the front. We've been fast all weekend, and just driver error, just making the right decisions at the right time. And again, I can't apologize or express enough apology to Workman. They've been racing great all week. They've had pass all week. So I'm glad everybody's all right and nobody got hurt.
Yeah, Ryan Kastner, a really class act here. Talk to me. How good has this Marinero car been? I mean, 206 Stars and KA Masters, it's been fast in both classes. How good has the car been for you?
This car's been amazing. Like, ever since we opened it from the box, put it on the track, it's very driver friendly, very tuner friendly. You set the tire pressures and go. I haven't done anything to that KA cart, and I haven't done anything to the 206 cart since I had it brand new. We're going to have to repair some of the front body work on the Briggs cart, but I mean, that's easy enough, and the thing's going to hit the track and continue to be blistering fast. We just need to get some luck.
Awesome. Ryan Kastner, everybody, your 3rd place finisher in the KA Masters night fight race. Back to you, Xander.
Thanks, Alex. Here we go back on the racetrack. It's shuffled around a little bit. Obviously, Ryan Kastner, like Alex said, a class act there. Just an unfortunate circumstance, some hard racing. I think he's beating himself up pretty hard for that. It's a tough section to go side by side through. Takes 2 to tango everywhere you go. We watch right now, Max Taylor's pulled a little bit of a gap over Nick Eggleston, who has been a bit of a sleeper cell this weekend here. He kind of came to life in the pre-final this morning, and since then he's worked his way up through the field here in the main, a couple spots already. He's a little bit quicker than the race leader right now, and he's getting some help from Aiden Patty on the Lando Norris kart for BJR. Mason Walters currently sits in the 4th spot, and that group goes all the way down past Walters
through Davin Roberts, Austin Olds, Eli Warren, Oliver Piatek, even all the way maybe a little gap to John Antonino. So you nearly got 8 drivers loosely tied for the lead down the front straightaway. 5 laps complete so far.
Yeah, Max Taylor looking really strong right now. I've talked to him a couple times this weekend. Kid is like a different version of Scott Dixon, super chill on the grid every time I talk to him. And, man, he's in his own world right now, laying down some fast laps. As you see Nix kind of throw a block in on Patty there. But Max Taylor leading the way so far, managing that gap from those other 4 drivers. Those Lando Norris cars have been rolling this weekend. 3 out of the top 5, as you see there. As we're going to see Patty throw a move in on Nix there, and he does. They come out too wide. Wow, that's touch and go. And Nix shuts the door. Got to give it to him there. As Patty's going to slide back in, do a bit of an over-under, and he decides to live for another day there. Files back in as another Lando Norris car is 6-0 underneath him. And I want to say that was Mason Walters who slid by Patty, and it was.
Indeed, Mason Walters now up into the 3rd position. Patty back to 4th. Max Taylor's lead grows now to 0.7 of a second. Now they're going to fight on Nix Eggleston. There goes Walters down the inside. He'll run him up the road to make sure he gets clear. So Walters to 2nd. Can he lead the group up to the race leader, Max Taylor, or is Taylor long gone in the Full Tilt Racing, Brandon Jarstreck Racing entry? As they go down at turn number 8 here this time. No passing in the group so far. So Mason Walters now becomes the driver that has to lead the charge back on forward, and he's going to need some help. He needs Nix Eggleston, Aiden Patty, Davin Roberts. He needs them to work together with him and push. As we see that Roberts has worked his way to 3rd in the line, 4th overall. You can see there's more drivers latching onto the back of that group as well. Luke Powers, Sam Avrutsky, they're on the way. So there's more that are continuing to try and join this pack. If they continue to battle, they'll go backwards more than they will go forwards. Down the back straightaway, a little bit of help for Walters. That time he'll get some pushing help from the train. That might help them get up to Taylor. 7 laps complete, though, 8.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. They've got time. They need to have the pace to do it, as Nix Eggleston has them stacking up behind him to the infield.
Yeah, Mason Walters coming on strong now. But, Xander, we saw earlier today in that KA100 Stars pre-final with Hayden Jones coming away with the win, just kind of took initiative of that lead from the start. Had some battles going on in the back. You get a guy like Max Taylor up front with crazy speed. You get a couple more passes here, and Max might be able to manage that gap to the end, but way too early to tell here as his teammate Mason Walters is slowly starting to close that gap with Nix and Davin right behind him. So lots of nose-to-tail action in that front group as Max Taylor continues to lay down fast laps. He's got about a 2nd lead right now, 9/10 in front of 2nd place, but I don't think Mason Walters is going to let that fly. He seems to be on the charge here.
Yeah, Mason Walters trying to get going here. He last time by got a 10th quicker. Here's Austin.
How about
Olds.
A lunge from Austin Olds under the MPG tent? Man, he's been a driver that's really impressed me this weekend. He had a rough heat race. He had a rough pre-final last night, earlier today, but
that
Austin Olds flexing his muscles out there. That was a nice move.
Yeah, that was solid. Davin Roberts recovered nicely from it. Only lost 1 position in the exchange. Now that's broken up the pack a little bit. The good news is Mason Walters is making headway. 2/10 better than Max Taylor last time by. Eggleston was quick as well. Austin Olds obviously was a little bit slower on the lap charts because he was making the pass, but if 2nd and 3rd get there and they arrive on the scene to challenge Max Taylor, I think more could join. So Austin Olds in 4th, Roberts 5th, Patty, Piatek, Warren, and Powers 7th and 8th. Into turn number 8. There's the group. Let's see, does anyone duck out of line? Not into the hairpin this time. No, there is a pass. That is Luke Powers on Eli Warren, the Jimmy Simpson Racing teammates, trading the 7th position.
Yeah, that front group pretty much all running the same lap times, but right now it's all Max Taylor. Mason Walters doing his best to run down his teammate. Eggleston behind him, but I don't think he can really give Mason a good push through that midfield section, and it's hurting Mason. Right now, Max Taylor holding out strong up front. We'll see if those 2 drivers can walk him down, but Nix is really going to have to start going to work on his rear bumper as we see a couple other drivers pull out a line there. Looks like everyone files back in, but so far pretty clean and spread out up front in this KA Junior Stars final.
Yeah.
Mason Walters starting to lay down some fast lap times. I see that gap starting to close. I don't know, Xander. You think he can get there?
He's chipping away at it. He's got the time to do it, I think. As we see a pass by Aiden Patty, he gets by Davin Roberts. I don't know if Austin Olds and company will arrive. They need these two on screen, Nick Eggleston and Mason Walters, to get there to Max Taylor and battle. If they get there and they push him for a lap or two before they go, I don't think anyone else joins this fight. But if they get there and they instantly go by him, then I think that's when the Hornets' nest will break loose and everybody will get into the mix here. So here they go down the backstretch. Last time by, another 2/10 lopped off, half a second back. I mean, they're making up massive amounts of time. Nick Eggleston doing a great job being the pusher. He sets the best lap of the race. I think there's not a question of if, more of when they'll arrive with 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. The bigger question to me, what does that lead pack look like when it's made up of Taylor, Walters, and Eggleston? You'd think Taylor and Walters would work together. They may not. But out of turn number 9, they've at least got a second cushion back from Eggleston to Austin Olds' group. If they don't fight it too much, that second will stay. If they fight it too much, it'll kind of dissipate, and we'll have an 8-driver lead group.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Mason Walters and Nick Eggleston decide to do once they catch Max up front. Mason, Max's teammate, but man, when you see a guy get that much of a lead, it almost looks like Max Taylor had this thing wrapped early on. His lead was so big. As you see these two slowly pulling him in here, it'll be interesting to see if Mason Walters decides to make a move or just stick with his teammate and click out good laps.
Kudos to Aiden Patty. He made a move on Austin Olds that time by into turn number 4. Brought some help with him in the form of Davin Roberts and Oliver Piatek. They went by, moved Austin Olds down a couple spots inside the top 10. More passing. Oh, look at all that. Look at them really getting after it. Olds fighting back here, trying to get Patty down the order. He's side by side with Oliver Piatek on the inside. Then John Antonino got into the mix a little bit. So this group, they just traded up so many positions. Olds fighting hard for 4th. That's going to make a pretty big margin. 2 seconds now they are back from 3rd and 2nd place on the racetrack. So we'll see if they can run them back down. It's 3.5 minutes plus 2 laps. Headed to turn number 4. Here they come in again. Davin Roberts on the bottom side of Oliver Piatek. He'll bring help to crack the top 5 again. But this group of 3, I don't know if they'll be touched now. I thought for a moment if they would have stuck together in the group behind and not passed, they wouldn't have lost any time. Now with all that passing, there's a nice buffer back to this pack, who is still going at it. There's Piatek with a move, I think, on Powers.
Yeah, it really all comes down to what Mason Walters decides what he's going to do when he catches his teammate up front here. Will he make the move or just stick with him and wait till the end?
That's the big question. He's got time on his side, obviously. He can wait a little bit. He can cool the tires off. He can make sure that he's got stuff saved up. The only thing that could be a little bit tricky is you can see there's lap traffic looming. So the blue light's starting to flash here at Gilbert Motorplex on the track light safety system. Through turn number 4, 2 car lengths back from the leader to 2nd. Max Taylor leading most of the way, trying to stay consistent. He's done everything that his tuner, I'm sure, has asked of him. He has been remained at a 51.2 level pace nearly this entire main event. It's just unfortunate that the drivers behind are a little bit quicker because he's been every bit consistent as he can. And that lap driver nearly really got into the mess of things. That opened up the gap for him.
Wow, Mason Walters shaking his head there. Yeah, he's not going to be too happy about that driver, as that opens up another gap to Max Taylor and Xander. I'm not going to lie, they're going to really have to lay down some flyers here to hit Max, because even when they got up into his draft, they couldn't really get too close to him. Not sure what Walters and Eggleston are going to do here, but they definitely have some work to do.
Yeah, they erased about 4 laps of progress. And there's only about probably 4 to 5 laps to go as we see that middle group. They're about to catch the lap traffic here, right in the worst part of the racetrack, turns 5 and 6. Look at him. The lapper's going to go just in the dirt. I think he's just fully trying to get out of the way. And, hey, that time he did fully. So that middle group still going at it into 8. There's Powers on the inside of Piatek again. Aiden Patty's dropped all the way to the end of the pack. John Antonino Jr. still back there. It's still Austin Olds at the front of the group along with Davin Roberts. Roberts has gone by Olds now for 4th. Olds into 5th. But 4-ish laps to go here. Looks like 1:10 left on the timer. So they will come back around again for 3 to go. Come back around again for 2 more. Down the back straightaway. The update on the gap here. Mason Walters and Nick Eggleston, like you said, they were struggling to get to Taylor. They only made up about 200ths last time by.
Now, this time, let's see if they can do any bit more damage. They're 4 car lengths away, headed into turn number 6.
Yeah, based on how things look right now, you'd have to think that Mason Walters can get there with Nix behind him, but Max Taylor been so dominant all weekend, and he is right now, as you see some sparks fly off of Max's chassis, but Max is just on a rail out there. Not even sure he's clicking off lap times that fast all alone, as you see Olds and Roberts falling behind. Those two starting to work together, finding some pace late into this finals. We're running up on 2 to go here. We're not far away, and it looks like Walters is pretty close coming out of turns 1 and 2, and they're going to start snipping Max's draft going down that backstretch. I would have to think they're there, and it looks like they are. So Mason Walters and Nix, they are definitely in this race. Max Taylor looking awfully strong through the infield, but
that was a really, really good last lap there for them. Really good the first half of this lap. Here we are, coming at 2 to go this time by, getting there right when it counts. The top 3 roll through turn 8. That group behind still battling all together, but they're about 3 seconds back now. Out of turn 9, Taylor with a good exit. Pulls that gap back to 2 car lengths. Mason Walters, Nix Eggleston. 2 drivers here looking for a first career big Touring Series victory. Walters, again, this would be huge. Eggleston even bigger for a non-Mooresville local. Up the hill, turn 3. A lap and a half to go. Max Taylor just got to hang on as he goes down the backstretch. No pressure into 4. He'll take the normal line.
yeah, I want to say Mason Walters might be on a lower gear. He really sucks up to Max going down that backstretch, but Max Taylor's so strong in the infield all weekend long, and he's flexing his muscles right now. Watch him pull Walters out of this hairpin. And Max just studded out this weekend. So you see some battling going further back. Austin Olds way down on the inside.
Lots of battle in there in that middle group. Oh, and they're wrecking way off the racetrack. My goodness. Austin Olds about gets clobbered. I think that might have been Luke Powers trying to save it across the racetrack. That was hairy. White flag in the air. 1 to go. 3 driver battle for the lead. That mid-pack, it was a matter of time before they were going to erupt. Here they go down the back straightaway. Final time. Taylor to the bottom side. Blocks Walters. Whoa, through 4.
Max Taylor got really loose from the push his teammate Mason Walters gave him there. As these 3 are neck and neck, I think Walters knows how fast Max is in the back section of this track, but Max is going to block half-heartedly.
Look at Nix Eggleston. He'll get down the inside, overshoots it. That's going to help Taylor out a little bit. Eggleston battling for the second spot. Overshoots again. Little contact coming out of 9. He gets P2. Walters back to 3rd. And out of the final corner, Max Taylor is going to win under the lights here at GoPro Motorplex in KA Junior. Second to Nix Eggleston, a career high in his Stars Championship debut. Look at the remains of this mid-pack across the line. It is Eggleston, Walters, then Austin Olds, then Oliver Piatek, John Antonino 6th, Davin Roberts 7th, Eli Warren, Luke Powers, Sam Avrutsky. The fact that they didn't fully all get collected there, Aiden Patty ends up the only driver with a DNF out of what could have been probably a very nasty multi-car incident in turn number 9 is astonishing.
Yeah, pretty good runs for Austin Olds and Olivier Patek, rounding out your top 5. I know Austin Olds hasn't had the easiest weekend, so barely coming away with that 4th place finish there as we saw one of the cars shoot across the track. Super touch and go, but good for Austin, and congrats to Max Taylor coming away from a dominant weekend here. Going to bring a win home.
Yeah, that was a heck of a run there for Max Taylor as he brings it into the scale line. We'll see if we can get maybe a word with him before they move on through with Alexander Searle down there. Let's take you once again through the top 10 as they finished up here. Max Taylor ends up as your winner over Nix Eggleston by half a second, the margin across the line. Mason Walters ends 3rd. Austin Olds, Oliver Piatek, your top 5. Then John Antonino, Davin Roberts, Eli Warren, Luke Powers, and Sam Avrutsky, your top 10 as they come on in. You go back down, Henry Wheeler was outside the top 10, just there in 11th. Not a lot of other major issues through the field. And then, of course, we had a lot of DNFs there from the issue on turn number 1. AJ McCarthy, Isabella Simpson, Lucas Zabo, Tanner Burlew, Ryan Miller, Colin Kiefer, all with problems early on here in the main. But Max Taylor victorious. And as they're starting to work their way through the scale line, I think that may mean we may have to wait a little bit before we can get a word with him. So we'll send it to commercial break. When we come back, more action's coming your way here, folks. It's time for the Micros to take to the racetrack here for the main event. Odenthal Racing Products, your #1 producer in engine mounts since 1992, along with our leading-edge designs and product development, such as the Odenthal Racing Products Easy GP camera mount, which comes in 4 different styles and can be used on any karting platform. To see our products online, go to odenthalracing.com.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun, family atmosphere. Try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun, sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com. And one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Welcome back here to the Stars Championship Series night fight at GoPro Motorplex, and a very happy Max Taylor is down on the scale area with our Alexander Searle. Alex?
Yeah, thank you, Xander. I'm here with Max Taylor. Max, it was a pretty easy win for you there. I mean, it got close with Walters and Egglestone there, but tell me, walk me through that race there.
Yeah, I was starting second on the outside, so I just held it around turn 1, caught up to the leader, passed him, and I just put my head down, never looked back, and just put in the laps.
Yeah, you seem like the fastest guy in this class all weekend. Tell me, how good has the BJR team and this Lando Norris car been for you?
Yeah, they've been great all weekend with the setup and helping me progress and get better. So, yeah, they've been great.
Yeah, awesome. One last thing. Who would you like to thank for this win?
I'd like to thank my coach, Ryan Raffa, Full Tilt Racing, and Brandon Jars Crack Racing.
Awesome. Max Taylor, everybody, your winner in... Hello? Okay. Yeah, Max Taylor, everybody, your winner in KA Junior under the lights here for the Stars Championship race at GoPro Motorplex.
Thank you, Alexander Searle, and again, a big congrats there to Max Taylor as they wrap up through the scales. We get set now. The lights are on. The sun is working its way down, and we are really at sunset hour, a little past golden hour, with more main events rolling through. The micros are getting set to go. Marco Samet, Holden Harder, Cameron Marsha, Kai Mars, Cade Wolf, and Parker Ives, your first 3 rows. We go back further down. Bowen Green, after that spin in the pre-final from the lead, rebounded to finish 7th. He rolls off on the inside of row number 4. Then it's Grady Kroenig to his outside. Enzo J. Gennaro starts the inside of Caleb Tracy to make up row number 5. Danny O'Gara and Bryson Scales, row 6. Anthony Mazzuccolo starts to the inside of Jake Manalia to make up row number 7. Then it's Homer Heyman and Gage Harden on rows 8. Ari Eberhardt, Caleb Smith, row 9. Oliver Guernsey and Camden Clay will start on the 10th row and the final row inside the top 20. Then it's Parker Stewart and Griffin Vukic. And then we've got Jordan Pulchlopik and Riley Dobelier there to round off the field based off the entry list. So we get set here for more racing under the lights here for the Stars Championship Series night fight. The micros making their way through down to turn number 4. Marco Samet and Holden Harder. Again, we'll start with the front row, but the entire top 7 have all had the pace to run together. And what a beautiful sight it is of the skyline here in Mooresville, North Carolina. It was unbelievably hot with the sun out earlier here today, but a nice little breeze here tonight. T-shirt and shorts weather, a little bit muggy out, but it ain't too bad, and it's a great night for racing here in the summer of 2022.
Yeah, like you said, just glad to be under the lights here. It's gotten a little cooler, still pretty humid, but these guys getting ready to race here. These micros, another part of the next generation of racers. Marco Samet on pole position, Holden Harder on the outside of row 1, Cameron Marsha and Kai Mars, row 2, Cade Wolf, Parker Ives, row 3, Bowen Green, Grady Kronick, row 4, and Enzo DeGeneres and Caleb Tracy, row 5 here in Micro Stars.
Yeah, here they go up the hill to the final corner. Marco Samet, Holden Harder, Cameron Marsha, Kai Mars. Again, the first 2 rows. We've talked about all the drivers in the top 7 having the pace to run for the win. I think they definitely could. I'll be waiting to see if anyone else on the outside of that group could join the lead pack here tonight. They're working their way through the tram lines, down towards turn number 1. What does it look like here for the start to begin the main event? The lights do go out. We're racing through the first corner, and they're side by side. Does everybody make it through turn 2? Up to turn number 3. Had one driver slowing on the outside of 1, but we're green, I believe, down the back straightaway. So we're racing to turn number 4. Marco Samet, your leader.
Yeah, the inside line kind of went much better than the outside row. It was a bit of an awkward start there as we see one guy getting loose in turn 4, almost lost the car. Marco Samet in the Brandon Jarskak Racing Lando Norris car still in first place. Holden Harder has a good start there to keep second place.
Yeah, nice start here for Holden Harder aboard the Magic Kart USA entry. Then there's Cameron Marsha on the Nitro Kart, the number 14. Oh, a little contact further back in the field. Few drivers getting 1 more. 2 turned around over in turn number 8. Near midway through the pack, we had one way off over there, all the way on the outside of the hairpin, trying to see who all we had collected as the leaders come out of the final corner for the youngest class. 1 lap complete under the lights so far for the micros. Look at this, Bowen Green working the inside on Cade Wolf. He'll get through. Bowen Green to P4. He's had a heck of a weekend. Ups and downs for sure for the number 24 machine. He's up to 4th already after that bobble in the pre-final, making up for it here in the main. 3-driver breakaway up front, but really that group goes all the way back to Grady Kronick in the number 42 down in 8th.
Yeah, like you said, a 3-car breakaway, but I think Brady's going to have, or Bowen Green is going to have a say in this one in the next lap or 2. Like you said, up and down weekend for Bowen Green. He's a winner in the heat race, but had a pretty poor pre-final, looking to make up for here in the final. Again, the trophy's only given to people who in the final, so he's looking to get that podium spot.
Yeah, Caleb Tracy unfortunately left in no man's land there in the 9th position. He's got no one around him. Big gap back from Tracy to Moore. We've got more that have all gone off over here. This is over at the exit of turn number 6, turn number 7. So a few more we've lost on the opening couple of laps. As down the front straightaway, Marco Samet continues to show the way over Holden Harder and Cameron Marsha. In fact, they pulled away a little bit from Bowen. Well, in a way a little bit from Bowen Green. They pulled up to Marco Samet. Green was still quicker than the leader. So the pack is slowly tightening up, but the pace already pretty quick. Cameron Marsha, your quickest at a 55.488. There's the gap. You can see Bowen Green pulling away a little bit from Cade Wolf and company. Kai Mars is there. He's been passed, actually, by Parker Ives in the 48 car. So Mars down the order to 7th. And as they go to turn number 8, Marco Samet in the number 3 LN kart for BJR, still with a car length cushion at times, not having to feel the pressure nearly as hard as some of the other drivers here in this grouping.
Yeah, if you have one driver off at turn 8, looks to be all right.
Oh, that's Parker Ives. I think Parker Ives is a problem. The number 48 machine out of the lead group is way back from the order here. Yeah. Parker Ives with a problem.
A few guys down. I believe it might have been him and Kai Mars got into it because Kai Mars lost a few spots there as well. Up front, though, Marco Samet, your leader. Holden Harder pushing him strong. Cameron Marsha in 3rd, and Bowen Green last time by goes purple.
So that'll change things up a little bit as Bowen Green is going to latch on to this top group of 3. Cade Wolf trying to come along for the ride. So is Kai Mars. Hate it for Parker Ives. He's gone. Cameron Marsha took a look back there in the infield to check the gap back to Bowen Green. He sees the fluorescent yellow getting a little bit bigger and bigger every time he checks over his shoulder. So he may want to pull the trigger on a move for 2nd or the lead pretty soon. Up the hill, once again, Marco Samet. 4 laps complete this time by. Here, 3.5 minutes knocked out, 11 minutes and some change, plus 2 laps still to come. So we're still very early on in this main event for the micros.
Yeah, a bunch of guys just traded purple lap times there as all of a sudden Bowen Green has made it a 4-car breakaway. Marco Samet's been probably the most dominant guy in the micro class so far, but Holden Hart is continually working on that go-kart. It seems to have worked out. Here's in second place and giving Marco Samet a run for his money.
Yeah, let's see it down over through turns 5 and 6. Here they come through the infield once again. 4 drivers make them nearly 6. Lined up, little side-by-side action as Marcia got alongside Harder. Now he's got to worry. Bowen Green's going on the inside. There goes Bowen down the inside lane. Kai Mars will do the same. They both get through. Positions gained 3rd and 5th simultaneously. Wolf back to 6th. Marcia back to 4th. I don't know what the bobble was for Holden Harder that got Cameron Marcia alongside him. And then Marcia backed out of it with a smart move, to be fair, on the number 14 Nitro card entry. But ultimately he ends up losing a position due to it.
Yeah, I believe Holden Harder might have skateboarded on that curbing on the exit of 6. That's why he was so wide in the 7. It gave Marcia a bit of a look, but that door closed really quickly, and that's how Bowen Green was able to get around him going to 7. Bowen Green looks to be the fastest guy out there right now as he goes to the inside of Holden Harder. Make that one stick. Bowen Green up to second place.
Yeah, here they go through turns 5 and 6. Back in the infield once again. Oh, a little bit of side-by-side action again. That's Marcia with a nose down the inside of Holden Harder in an awkward spot of the racetrack before that flat-out kink at turn 7. Not a great place to try and go by. We go back a little further. Grady Kronik still just latching on to the group up at the front, trying to hang on to the rear bumper of Cade Wolf and company as Kai Mars runs right there up the road from Wolf. Wolf even losing a little bit of time. So this pack improving their pace is dropping drivers off like flies. Here we go again, turn 1, fastest lap of the race, Kai Mars, but all of them setting their best lap of the session except for Holden Harder. Mars at a 54.787. They're already nearly half a second quicker than where they were a few laps ago. Into 4, lap 7, Marco Samet. With all the battling that's gone on around this lead group, it's wild to believe he's made it 6 laps, not even a nose down the inside so far, Alex.
Yeah, I don't know how he's doing it. Marco Samet seems to be really strong in the infield. I think Holden Harder finally got it together there because that's 2 laps in a row in 6 that he got a little wide. This field's bunched up, though, because they got really tangled up in turn 4 this lap, and that's allowed Cade Wolf to get back in the mix.
Yeah, here they go. Turn 9, going to the double right-hander. They'll come out towards the short chute onto the front straightaway. Marco Samet still the leader up the hill, this time towards the final turn and down the front straightaway. Samet leads by about 2 car lengths with the roll speed he's got to the center of the corner. It's wild to see here. Marco Samet with a heck of a run through turns 1 and 2. We'll go on up as we get set here. The KZ Masters, Rock Masters getting set down on the grid. We'll be running them here in our next session on through. So let's go ahead here. We'll send it down. It looks like Jed Perkins is caught up or is just about ready with the man to beat all weekend, who will start from the point in the main event, Joe Ruck. Jed?
Thanks, Xander. Down here with Joe Ruck. Absolute domination this weekend. I think he's won everything so far, and the closest anyone's been to you coming across the line is 4 seconds. So what's your game plan going into the final here?
Just try to get another good start, hopefully set sail again, just lay down some fast laps in the beginning. Got new tires, so cart should be hooked up. Kind of settle in to a few tenths slower than my fast laps and just cruise.
Now, obviously, you're driving the car perfectly, but what do you think's setting you so much higher up than everyone else in the class? You have pace on everyone, so.
I've got a good mechanic, my wife. She's doing all the work in the pits for me, so I got that going for me. The race factory chassis is working great. I haven't hardly touched it at all this weekend. Power's been good. The cart's been easy to drive, so as long as I do my job, we'll hopefully finish this thing off.
And then who would you like to thank for your ride this weekend? I know you already said your wife, but you got anyone else?
Yeah, mainly my wife. Race factory has been huge. I got a factory TM engine. Just me and my wife this weekend, so.
It's a power combo right there. Joe's going to go out and try and go 4 for 4 this weekend. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jed. Here we'll take it back as we watch them work their way onto the front stretch. Right as it looked like it might have been tame for a little bit, it opened up. Marco Samet finally got a challenge from Bowen Green. Green's getting a challenge from Holden Harder. Kai Mars, Cade Wolf, Cameron Marshall, they've all shuffled quite a bit. Somehow it's all been clean, Alex. And here's the big run down the back straightaway. Look at Harder. Huge head of steam down the inside of Bowen Green. He'll take over the second spot.
Yeah, Bowen Green has a lot of cards around him. I mean, while Jed was interviewing Joe Ruck, he actually took the lead of the race, only for like about half a lap as Samet took it right back. But Marco Samet still your leader somehow after 9 laps, holding harder in second as Kai Mars goes on the inside of Bowen Green. And I think Cade Wolf tried to do it too, but he got a little contact with Bowen Green. Cade Wolf falls back behind Cameron Marsha in 6th position, but what a move there for Kai Mars.
Yeah, Kai Mars able to make up some time, so now he closes up to the top 3. And it's a Georgia grouping around the kid from way outside the southeast in Marco Samet, and then number 3. Then we go back, of course, down the order, Holden Harder. He's been strong in the Magic Kart USA entry. Little bobbles through the infield, like we've said, but that just kind of goes to show how good he is everywhere else on the racetrack, that he can bobble there and pass for the lead like he is here into 4. Down the inside and through for Holden Harder. He's through to the lead. What a good move. He got such a good run off of 3. It was a pretty straightforward pass on Marco Samet. Holden Harder, your leader. Let's see if Marco Samet can respond. This is pretty much the first time all race he hasn't been leading. Let's see if Kai Mars goes to the inside of Samet, and he does. Kai Mars into 2nd place, but around the outside, Samet's going to try to hold it here. Oh. Samet has a bit of an issue, it looks like. Yeah, I think he got in the grass, and now he's down to 5th position. It looks like Samet also kind of popped up on the rear bumper of Kai Mars, trying to hang it on the outside lane. Hurt him there coming out of turn 8. He's dropped back, like you said, to 5th. Across the line this time. The top 3 with a nice gap back to 4th, 5th, and 6th. Through to turn number 1. Yeah, disaster there for Marco Samet. It's going to be a real test now to see how good this Lando Norris kart is, down in 5th position. This is just not the territory he's used to. He's used to just being in the lead of the race. As there goes Cade Wolf, trying to go on the inside of Marco Samet. Can't make that one stick. But wow, Marco Samet under fire here in 5th position. Here they go through turns 5 and 6 on the infield section. Down into turn number 8 this time. Holden Harder, Kai Mars, Bowen Green. Mars not going to do anything there. Marco Samet is the furthest back I think he's been all weekend. Back in the 5th spot and about 1.25 seconds away from the lead with 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Let's see if Marco Samet can earn this one from deep in the lead pack. As out of the final corner, Holden Harder in the 75 on the Magic Kart is looking pretty good. Here they come down the front straightaway. Your leader into turn number 1. 12 laps completed so far of this 15 minutes plus 2 laps main event. Yeah, the group is starting to get back together here. It's a 4-car breakaway up front, but Marco Samet not too far behind in 5th. Holden Harder, your leader, showing a real maturity here. No mistakes made from him so far. Kai Mars might look to make a move here soon, but he's just content to be 2nd place for now. Yeah, Kai Mars just seemingly, like you said, content to ride, but he's got Bowen Green behind. Does Green go by him into 8? He pushes him. Cameron Marsh is right there. Look at this. Marco Samet nearly had Cade Wolf down the inside trying to pass for 5th. Ultimately, he didn't pull the trigger. So Wolf remains back in the 6th spot. Marco Samet holding on to 5th, but he's losing touch with the leaders. He needs them to fight more than what they are. Holden Harder doing a great job leading this pack away. It's down to 4 with the 5th and 6th place stragglers almost outside the drafting window. 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Yeah, wow, Cameron Marshall went purple last time by. I thought for a second Kai Mars was going to sneak it up the inside of Holden Harder. Thought better of it. Unfortunately for Marco Samet, as we look up front, Kai Mars to the inside. Bowen Green going to follow. A little bit of contact there in 4, but I think Kai Mars is your leader. Bowen Green in 2nd place there. What a move going into the 4. Holden Harder down to 3rd place. This is going to bring Marco Samet and Cade Wolf right back into play. It's a 6-car train again. Yeah, all of a sudden, sometimes it just takes one pass there. Cameron Marshall wasn't able to follow through, but Green was. He really helped Kai Mars get that pass done early down the back straightaway. Look at this. Lap traffic's coming, and it's going to get hit by the lead group as Cameron Marshall. What a move. Turn 9. He gets underneath Holden Harder, takes over the 3rd position. But down the front straightaway, where will they catch the lapper? Blue flags are flying. There's 2 lap drivers in front of them with the big crashes they had early on. Kai Mars will be the first one to get to him. What an up and down weekend he's had. There he goes, turn 3, stacks up behind him. Bowen Green's going to go to the inside. Does he get to the inside of Mars? He doesn't. So Mars will get through into 4. Green will follow. Here comes Harder. The train's trying to go. They're 3 wide with the lapper. Back for 4th, just offside the camera, and somehow everybody survives. But the biggest loser is going to be Cade Wolf. He's going to lose a lot of time struggling to get through it. Mars takes them through more lap traffic into 8 here. Down the inside. Oh, contact. Bowen Green's around in the hairpin. Bowen Green got popped there on the inside of turn 8 as Holden Harder tried to follow them through.
He's still stuck on the inside or the outside edge of the turn 8 hairpin. And Kai Mars with a big-time lead now. Look at this. Holden Harder's dropped way back. They were trying to get through the traffic, and there's still traffic all over. Kai Mars, with a minute to go, is looking for his biggest career win. He has never won anything beyond the Club Series races and wins. He's looking at a major Touring Series victory here at the Stars Championship Series night fight.
Yeah, Kai Mars driving a perfect race so far. Somehow, Marco Samet found himself back in the second. Well, not really somehow. Obviously, Bowen Green is now out of the race. Let's see if Holden Harder is going to work with Marco Samet. Obviously, these two start on the front row together. If Holden Harder can push Marco Samet up, there might still be enough time to catch up to Kai Mars. Let's see.
Yeah, Kai Mars, what a gap here. Can he hold on to it? 1.5 seconds, 30 seconds to go, plus 2 laps and all the carnage. He should be free from any penalties again, and we'll see if the officials say anything of working through the lap traffic for, unfortunately, Holden Harder. I don't know what that deal was. It was an awkward angle for us, so they've got their eyes in the sky, on the sky scissor lifts, deciding on what to see. And again, Marco Samet, this is the downside of him being so far back, but guess what? He knocked off 2/10 that time by, and they've got 3 laps to go with another lapper coming. That's not what we need, though. Holden Harder going to pass Samet for second. He'll go by him into 4, right as Samet might have been able to make some headway, so that'll back him back up. Mars' lead, still over a second, could get run down, or they could fight for P2. We'll see what happens. Kai Mars into the red 171 hairpin once again. There's Harder, Samet, and Cameron Marcia, who's also been able to avoid all the chaos. Cade Wolf, I think he also spun with the way that it collected everybody. Parker Ives, I thought we had an issue earlier with him. He was able to obviously get back going. He's in 7th. Wolf is 5th, and then unfortunately Bowen Green, the biggest loser. Here's the blue flags coming out as the double sticks come out. 2 to go, 9/10 back to Harder and Samet. They're still gaining on Mars, and he's about to catch lap traffic in an awkward position through turn 3. Down the backstretch, Mars looking to the inside, and that's Gage Smith-Harden, and he's going to get held up now by the battle for second as Samet side by side with Harder.
Yeah, the story of this race so far is lap traffic as Samet's going to go to the inside of Holden Harder. Holden Harder's going to get caught out. Cameron Marcia up to 3rd. That lapper got in the way for both those guys there. Let's see if Marco Samet can close on the leader, Kai Mars, but Kai Mars looking to walk away with it, but Marco Samet has closed that gap. Kai Mars got caught out by the lapper going to 3. I don't think he was prepared for it.
Yeah, I don't know here. Kai Mars looking for that first career major win. He's checking this over his shoulder, trying to hang on. White flag's going to come this time. Marco Samet is digging 4 car lengths back. Marco Samet has had a banner year. He's already won at Newcastle. Here he comes, 2 car lengths away, like a shark in the water. Marco Samet up the hill to turn number 3.
Yeah, Marco Samet's going to get in the toe here of Kai Mars. I wonder if Kai Mars is going to go to defensive. He does. I think it's a little too early to go defensive there. That's going to give Marco Samet a really good exit in 4. He's going to have a really good chance now exiting 5 through 6 now.
Still too far back for anything. Sends it deep through 6. Nearly goes wide. Gets a little bit sideways. Little bobble from Samet through 6. Mars sees him. Blocks a little bit into 8. Nicely done. 2 more turns to go. Look at that. Cameron Marcia's coming back into the fray. Into 9. Samet deep on the brakes. Trying to get there. Mars, it could be big-time career victory number 1. Samet looking for another. Final corner. He's not going to get there. Out of the last turn. Kai Mars, welcome to the national stage. He wins the Stars Championship Series night fight in Micro.
Wow, what a race here in Micro Stars under the lights for the Stars Championship night fight. Kai Mars, his first major touring victory.
Marco Samet ends up in 2nd. The Trinity Karting Group team gets another major victory here on the Stars Championship Series. What a performance for them. They avoid the chaos. And again, Marco Samet 2nd. You have to feel for Bowen Green. He's definitely been the standout driver all weekend here and has turned, I think, a lot of heads on the comp cart. Unfortunately, that final result will not show it, and it was a similar story for him at the last couple majors here in North Carolina. However, he will definitely be a force to be reckoned with when we move forward with the rest of the Touring Series season. Marco Samet, that's a solid points day no matter what. A win in round 1, a 2nd place in round number 2. Holden Harder again crosses the line 3rd. Cameron Marcia 4th. Cade Wolf in 5th. Grady Kronick in 6th. Parker Ives in 7th. Danny O'Gara ends up in 8th. Caleb Tracy 9th. And Jake Manalio rounds the top 10.
as we try to collect our thoughts there. The scale, everyone's coming out in here to the scale house to get all weighed in for the micros. But Kai Mars, again, what a solid job. It's a feel-good story, obviously, for the TKG Kart Republic driver as we try to get set here for a little bit of a word. And, man, it couldn't be more chaotic for anyone here so far this weekend. But Kai Mars, we're going to get him all set and ready to go. Alex, closing thoughts on that one here, because that one had a lot of different storylines in it. The lap traffic obviously playing a big factor. Yeah, I mean, I still have to catch my breath after that one. Kai Mars, his first major touring victory. Like you said, a feel-good story. Marco Samet was an up-and-down race for him. He led most of that race, fell back to 5th, at 6th at one point, I believe, found his way back to 2nd, and somehow only 2/10 away from a victory. As you can see by the cameras, obviously I don't know if it's showing or not, but they're just having a good time. Kai Mars and Marco Samet showing good sportsmanship in this race.
Here, we'll hang on for Mason Janowski. We'll see if we can get a quick interview here with Kai Mars before we can pull him over to the scale line with the Stars team. There we go. We'll get him on through. So look at that. It's a hot summer night. It's humid, but Kai Mars is a big-time main event winner here on the micro stage. Let's send it down to Jed Perkins here. He's caught up with our Micro Swift winner.
Down here with your micro winner, Kai Mars. Big win for you in Trinity Karting Group. Walk me through the final.
Yeah, I got a bad start, fell down to like 6th or 7th, and then the tires thing came in to like late in race, so I just kept on passing people and just put my head down, and then it worked out for me.
Kai Mars looking like a veteran out there. It's first big win for you. Anyone you'd like to thank?
My dad, Trinity Karting Group, my coach, Martin Pierce, and everybody else that helped me.
Another bright star in the micro class coming away with an awesome big win. We'll go back to you guys in the booth and let Kai go ahead and get weighed in here. Congrats, Kai.
Congrats to Kai Mars again. Thank you, Jed Perkins, and what an awesome interview here, the first of many. And it was cool to see you could see all the other drivers get into the background there, Alex. That's what it's all about. You saw a lot of good sportsmanship, them wanting to come and pat him on the back. Marco Samet in the LN kart, the BJR crew, he could have been frustrated that he needed one more lap. Instead came up, shook his head, patted him on the back, said congratulations on that big win. Did you see the wreck going behind you? I think was probably what else he was asking him.
Yeah, exactly. Marco Samet showing great sportsmanship. That's what it's all about, especially in the micro class. I mean, it just shows this is the next generation of drivers. I mean, Kai Mars, that's a great interview for his first touring victory.
Well, either way, we've got more of that to come. The KZ and Rock Masters are next up on the grid. We've got more racing coming after that. So if you're watching here with all of us live for the Stars Championship Series night fight, the lights are on. Xander Clemens, Alexander Searle, Jed Perkins, and the KC team. We'll be right back after this.
How you doing? My name is Mike Doty from Mike Doty Racing from Orange County, New York. We're about an hour north of New York City. We're a full-service kart shop that we supply IAME, Rotax, and all rock engines. We sell OTK parts and all the tires for all the different series. We support USPKS, SCUSA, Rotax, which is the Stars and Stripes, and the Rock Winter Tour. What we do is we try to get the drivers better by data, driver coaching, and setup. We have a lot of good drivers that come through our program. We have a lot of experience. I've been doing it for almost 35 years, and we just try to translate that to all our customers.
For more info about Mike Doty Racing, you can contact us at MikeDotyRacing@gmail.com or call us at 845-551-0572.
And we're back live with our KZ Rock Masters final. Looks like we got our guys getting lined up on the grid here. Joe Ruck been absolutely dominant in this class all week. We'll see if he can do it again.
Yeah, let's see what we've got here for Joe Ruck and the KZ Master Rock Master field. They are lined into the start boxes, looking good for the green. We're going to get set to go to the lights. And here we go for the Stars Championship Series night fight. The red lights come on for KZ Master and Rock Master. The final time, and away they go. What a launch for Joe Ruck. What a good launch for Bradley Danoff. He gets alongside Robert Fiege, and they go side by side up the hill there for the best of the group. Ruck gets away with a nice lead to begin, and as he said, him and his wife, just a nice duo there with the Race Factory chassis, TM motor, already a 5-car length lead to begin the final.
Yeah, not often you see the wife-husband combo under the tent, but you got to give it to him. He's absolutely flying this weekend as you see him lead the field around lap 1 here.
Nice little start for Robert Fiege as well as he gets a little closer on the opening lap. He accidentally maybe has his tires a little warmer than expected with a spin on the outlap that was during the commercial break. And he's already closing in on Joe Ruck a little bit here on the opening circuit. So maybe he could apply some pressure to him. Down to turn number 1, 4-car lengths away for Fiege. Then Danoff, then Corso, Morton Van Dock, your top 5. Frank Ronco, John Stapleton, Hugh Templeman, and then Safik Haddock the second as they go down the backstretch here to turn number 4.
Yeah, Robert holding Joe at bay there, giving him the best shot we've seen all weekend, really. Saw Joe win that first heat by 4 seconds, won the second one by 7 seconds, and then won our pre-final earlier today by 8. So Joe Ruck, the man to beat.
Yeah, he has been simply phenomenal. So that's why it's all the more impressive. Robert Fiege is able to keep him as close as he is right now here in the opening couple stages. I don't know if it's a stamina issue that'll have him fall off or if this is a newfound level of pace here for the Hardin Motorsports Group driver, Robert Fiege. But in the HMG Race Factory kart, works his way down through turns 1 and 2, up the hill towards turn 3. Bradley Danoff even goes a little bit quicker than both of them. He goes purple, so Bradley Danoff on the Maranello, keeping it a little bit more even for the top 3 if they can stay consistent. Joe Ruck, obviously, he's not necessarily a super old fellow by any means. He stays in great shape, an avid CrossFit athlete, and I think that obviously helps translate to the racing when it comes to the shifter classes, putting yourself through absolute just murder, really, for 17, 18 minutes. It is a brutal hinding that your body takes, and so for Joe Ruck to be able to put that CrossFit and level of fitness to use, I think that's a big tool in his toolbox he's able to kind of play on a little bit here through these Masters main events.
Yeah, shifter's the one class where kind of everything is built together as far as your racecraft, and looks like Alexander Searles caught up with another K100 Stars driver. So Alex, what you got down on the grid for us?
Let's see, I think we should have him now here. We'll check that one more time. Alex, you got us down on the grid?
Yeah, I got you. Thank you, Vander. I'm here with Chase Jones. Chase, you've had a rough couple of heat races, man. It seems like you got a good start, and then something always happens in the heats in the pre-final. Talk to me about what's your game plan under the lights here in the KA Stars final.
Yeah, I mean, it just all starts with qualifying, right? So we've got to be better out the gate and better in qualifying to set us up in the front of the heats. So that's kind of my own doing there. I didn't get the job done in qualifying, but we've been we're working on this low power kart and the MPG tent, and I'm pretty confident going into the final with the changes that we made. And I talked it over with Billy Vincent, that's at home watching Kart Chaser, and we think the changes that we made is going to send us to the front, and that's my job now.
Love to hear it. How confident are you that this Will Power Kart can take you to the front here under the lights?
I mean, it's been very good to me, since I've been on it and doing a lot of the R&D and development with it the past 2 years or so. So if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't be in it, right? So our junior boys seemed pretty dialed in earlier today, and I think it's about to relay over to this KA field.
Love the confidence from Chase Jones. Chase Jones, everybody, he starts 15th in the KA Stars final. Look forward to seeing him moving up the field.
Thank you, Alex. We'll let Chase Jones continue to get suited up, see who else on the KA Stars grid might be down to have a few words with us, with 4 minutes complete so far, 10 minutes, 45 seconds, plus 2 more laps here. A long KZ Master and Rock Master final to come Joe Ruck starting to edge it out a little bit now. It's not nearly coming along as quickly as we thought. And look at this pass back in the field. That is, I believe, John Stapleton, or maybe Frank Runco and Warren Van Tok. Yeah, Runco getting by Van Tok there in turn number 5. So that's a change in the 5th position on the racetrack as the Magic Kart driver moves himself up 1 spot and gets himself a little bit closer towards the rear bumper. Ryan Corso, who he has been battling with almost all weekend. Those two, we saw them together a lot of the pre-final, 4th and 5th, and Corso and Runco. Down the front straightaway, 6 complete. The gap, 2 seconds for Joe Ruck back on the field. Then Fige over Danoff, about another 9/10 of a second. Just starting to open up here as they rocket down the back straightaway.
Yeah, as we see as that lap goes by, Frank going to slide in front of Morin. Morin, another one of those Floridian drivers I'm pretty familiar with. Race with him all the time down there. But right now, it's all Joe Ruck. Using that CrossFit to help him extend this lead. It's got to be a bit of a mindset battle, too, and you're that far out front. You really just don't want to bin it at that point, but you're also trying to click off fast laps. And it looks like Alexander Searles found another K100 driver. Alex, what you got?
Well, let's see here. Before we send it on down to him, we'll get ready to get it a little more. He's got a really tall K100 driver. I can't see him fully into the frame, so we'll get that adjusted for just a second so everyone can see. There we go. We got a good look. It's Gavin Bailiff down with Alex here. Let's send it on to you, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I'm here with Gavin Bailiff. Gavin, you start 7th here for the final in KA Stars. Talk to me. What's your game plan going to this race?
We were a little bit off in the pre-final, so we had to make a couple setup changes. I've been pretty good at being able to hold my position throughout the race. I think I just got to get to the front sooner.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it seems like the Trinity karts in general, and this has been really strong. How good has this Trinity Kart Republic been for you?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, the support from Kart Sport North America and Eric Jones at Kart Sport, it's been great. We're always fast. I mean, we're always up there searching for a win, so hopefully we can get it today.
Awesome. One last thing. How cool is it to be racing under the lights here for a feature race for the Stars Championship?
It's sweet. I'm really excited that it's dark this time. Last night it was kind of sunset shootout, but tonight we should be dark.
Exactly. The sun's down, lights are on here for the KA Stars final. Gavin Bailiff starts 7. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Alex. Here again, back to the action. 8 laps complete for Joe Ruck out in front of Robert Fige and Bradley Danoff, 2nd and 3rd. Gavin Bailiff, he's been close in the KA Stars field here this weekend. Like he said, he's been able to stay up in that pack near the front of the field, even when the setup or his pace doesn't seem to be as strong. But I will say, as a whole, it looks like he's all right. Now, look at this group here. They've tightened up as Ryan Corso has started to fade a little bit. Frank Runco right on the bumper. 2 car lengths back from him, and then Warren Van Tok is there. This 4th, 5th, and 6th grouping, the tightest on the racetrack because they have spread out tremendously. 3.6 seconds and growing for Joe Ruck and Robert Fige and Bradley Danoff. And I got to imagine it's got to come down to stamina and fitness here, Jed, because you saw in the first few laps of the race, Fige was able to stay close to the pace of Ruck, and then Ruck started to throw down a couple heaters, and then also you've seen a major fall off for Fige and for Danoff when it comes to lap times.
Yeah, Ruck probably has a different mindset going into these races, looking at it as more of a workout than a race, honestly. Cardio, forearms, and core are definitely some muscle groups that really come into play, especially in shifter racing, and Joe Ruck is showing the way here. Yeah. So we see Morin poking a nose there on Frank, but those 3 are going to stay where they are for now.
Yeah, he was looking for a way around him, couldn't really find it. 10 laps complete now. 6 minutes, 45 seconds, plus 2 laps to go. So that puts us about 9 more to come here in the main. You can see them working through some lap traffic as well up the road. That's Safet Haddock in the 691 Trinity Karting Group KR down in the 9th position. The leader in the Rock Master class is, of course, Ryan Corso. So you're watching a battle in class as well between Corso and Frank Runco. That's for the Rock Masters win. And speaking of battling for the win here, the podium ceremonies will follow at the end of the night following the Pro Stars Division main event. Want to remind everyone here in the paddock as well, we'll be doing more giveaways thanks to Summit Racing Equipment, as Van's Supply has also gotten us a ton of prizes to give to the winners. And if you haven't checked out any of our vendor row, make sure to check out everything down there, including the Stars Championship Series official merchandise and the Kart Chaser official merchandise tent as well. While we go back to the on-track action, side by side, let's check out what Weston Workman's got on his mind as he's down with Alexander Searle. Alex?
Yeah, thank you, Xander. I'm here with Weston Workman. Weston, talk to me about that pre-final last time. You seemed to came from nowhere and finished 4th. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I was kind of just, seeing what the leaders were doing, and then I kind of just pounced on the last lap to get the P4 finish. I was kind of sitting around in P5 for a while, patient, and I think that's what I'm pretty good at, but I think in the final I'll definitely be pretty aggressive.
Yeah, awesome. What do you think the comp cart's going to be like under the lights here at GoPro?
I think it'll be all right. We have a couple setup changes. Hopefully that helps it. We're kind of fighting the degradation, so we're trying to counter that with the setup.
Awesome. Weston Workman, everybody, starts 4th in the KA Stars final.
Weston Workman here 1 year ago under the lights became an overnight sensation as he won the fan vote to get into the Miami Grands X30 Pro shootout, and then had nearly a top 3 result in the money before he and Brandon Jarsakrak came together on the final lap. Just about 3 corners to go. He also had a solid run that weekend to the Miami Grands Championship, and it's cool to see him as his budding car racing career continues as well. He's able to get back in a go-kart as much as he possibly can. With the Timmy Tech Comp Kart, he rolls off 4th, as Alex said, later on this evening. 13 laps complete so far for Joe Ruck here as we get set to go. With Robert Feige, 4.4 seconds back, 7.5 back to Bradley Danoff, 12.4 seconds to Ryan Corso, and that's the gap, so you can see them as they went down the back straightaway. Here's Corso's group coming on through. Runco in line, Moore and Van Tok, Hugh Templeman, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, down through turn number 4 with 4 minutes plus 2 laps remaining. There's Bradley Danoff going on through the infield section, currently 3rd, and then here's that midfield pack in the KZ and Rock Master division headed for the hairpin here with just a couple minutes to go. It's so tricky for these guys to get around each other in a shifter. They're kind of waiting almost at this point for a mistake out of the driver in front. Much different than where we've seen in the single-speed classes, and especially some of the headline divisions where they're more so not trying to figure out how to pass, but when to pass. That dynamic is massively different, Jed. You know that as a full-time guy, active especially in the 206 and K100 classes, that you're sometimes more so you have the option to go by 5 different times per lap at almost any given lap sometimes, but you're waiting, or you go by and you hope that the guy behind you waits on you.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to pass in this shifter class. I've seen Moore and Van Tok kind of poke a nose out, but I think he's just playing it safe right now because he's surrounded by Rock Masters, so we'll have to see how that battle plays out through the race. So I think Alexander Searle has gotten together with another KA star.
Yeah, someone needs to tell Dalton Haynes that when the sun's out, the guns should be out, but then back away when the sun is gone. We'll send it on down to Alexander Searle. He's there with our LCQ pre-final B winner who rolls off 31st here. Alex?
Yeah, thank you, Xander. Like you said, you're LCQ winner from 15th to 1st there. Talk about how the car's handling so far.
Yeah, the car was handling all right. I mean, obviously the tires are going down because we have a couple races on them now. I'm looking to go as far as I can in the final. Bradley Zulish, I hope you're listening because I want that camera on me the entire race because I'm passing someone at least 2 people per lap. I'm getting all the way up there, Bradley. I hope you hear me, all right?
Well, yeah, speaking of which, I mean, how many places do you think you can move up here in this final?
I think I can make it top 10. I don't know about top 5 if Hayden or someone else gets to pull away, but I definitely think top 10. I did it back at USPKS, got P4 from 19th. This is a bit bigger of a gap, but hopefully I can get up into that top 5, maybe. I don't know. They're going to have to battle pretty hard for me to be up there, but I'm definitely looking at a top 10.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Dalton Haynes, everybody, starts 31st here, looking to move up into the top 10. Back to you guys.
Yeah, we'll let Dalton here get ready, and hopefully he can find a few sleeves for his T-shirt before he gets underway. But nonetheless, he's got a lot of work to do, so maybe he'll need to flex that muscle. Starting P31 as the leaders work through some more lap traffic there, coming on through. Oh, no, that's Hugh Templeman coming out of nowhere with a big run through the field at the end of this one. He was down in 7th, has turned the heat up. He was half a second quicker than this pack the last few laps. Moore and Van Tok is coming under the pressure of him. He nearly got by him there into 4. Ultimately couldn't do it. Now Van Tok on Runco. Not enough in 8, like you said, Jed. He's just poking a nose there. Not close enough to pull the trigger. Or maybe not gutsy enough. Either way, these guys know they got to go to work on Monday.
Yeah, I thought I saw Morin maybe get out of line a little bit in the back sweeper. He got a little squirrely for a second, but no, he really just needs to hang it where he is right now. No KZ Masters around them, surrounded by rock guys. So Morin using his smarts, not making any risky moves on anyone out there, but definitely getting a bit squirrely here and there.
Yeah, definitely a little bit here as we see that's going to be one of the other drivers. I believe John Stapleton pulling wide there into turn number 4, giving way to the mid-pack group there while Joe Ruck's lead continues at about 5.6 seconds. Just a massive gap over Robert Feige and company. Bradley Danoff still back there in third. Corso is fourth. Runco is fifth. Over to turn at number 9. Here this time, you're watching again Ryan Corso lead this group up the hill, final corner, 30 seconds to go. So I think by the next time by for Joe Ruck, it'll be the 2 to go signal. So 2 laps to go, going in the air the next time around. 3 to go currently in KZ and Rock Masters for the main event at the Stars Championship Series night fight. And then it's time for our 2 headline divisions. The 60 driver KA Stars class has been cut down to 40 for the main. We've talked to a number of the contenders. Hayden Jones won the pre-final. He's going to get set to lead the field of the green here in the final over Tyler Wettengel and company. Joe Ruck obviously leading here in KZ and Rock Masters, and then we go to the KZ and Rock Pro Stars division. Well, that one has been headlined by Vincenzo Saraceno and Talon Yockel. Both of them have split all of the race sessions, and they've been on each other's tail for each one. We'll see who comes out on top. And a big storyline in that one, Annie Rule, unfortunately, got DQ'd for a tire issue in the pre-final with the wrong marked tire, so she's going to the tail of the field on the Checkered Motorsports Magic card.
Joe Ruck coming close to his checkered flag here as we got the 2 to go signal for that middle pack group there. Not much going on as far as position-wise, but yeah, Xander, definitely getting excited for this KA Stars race. It's going to be an absolute barn burner. Yeah, lots of drivers that can win it. I think you can probably name 15 drivers that have a solid shot at a win or a podium. And it's going to be a fun one for sure as we watch our KZ and Rock Masters kind of get jumbled up there. Looks like Morin's going to go to the back of that group.
Yeah, he eventually loses a spot to Hugh Templeman here. So Morn Van Dock finally, after trying to get by for 5th, ultimately loses the 6th position and falls to 7th on the white flag, or coming to the white flag. So final lap underway for this battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. There's Templeman. Look at that, turn 3. He's trying down the inside. I don't think he was able to get it done on Frank Runco. Ultimately remains back in 6th. And your leader headed to turn number 9. Final time around, Joe Ruck making it look easy for the husband-wife duo on the Race Factory chassis, the TM engine. It has just all been hooked up, and all Joe Ruck all weekend. He sweeps in KZ Master. Robert Fees second. Bradley Danoff will come across the line here as he rounds the final corner to finish in 3rd. And look at this. Here's that group coming across the line for 4th. Ryan Corso, Frank Runco. Pass for the 6th position. Morton Van Tuck. Hugh Templeman drag racing across the line. Templeman with the crossover move gets 6th. Van Tuck 7th. Stapleton and Hoddick the 2nd, 8th, and 9th. So that does it for KZ and Rock Master. We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, the first of the 2 headline classes, and no more commercials through to the end for podiums, as we'll be going nonstop for the Kart Chaser live stream, beginning with your KA Stars main event. Stick with us, and we will be right back here for the Stars Championship night fight.
Welcome back here to the Stars Championship Series night fight. And it is about to get on here under the lights. A dark night summer sky here in Mooresville, North Carolina. My name's Xander Clemens. For those of you just tuning in, alongside me, Alexander Searle and Jed Perkins on our KC On-Air team, getting set to bring you the first of the two headline divisions for this series. The KA Stars class getting set to get underway, and it is all about one driver, at least from the pre-final, and to see if he can back up that results here in the main event, and that's Hayden Jones, the privateer. A father-son effort here for a number of these national-level talents coming home to their home racetrack, as a bunch of the major race teams taking the weekend to prep for other big races on the schedule. So Hayden Jones, no Rollison Performance Group hauler. He's got the livery, but like he said in his interview earlier, it's just him and his dad. And Tyler Wettengeld, kind of similar setup on the Speed Concepts Racing livery, working on their own out of their personal garage here, as they both call Cobra Motorplex home. And they have dominated here at home this week. 1-2 in the pre-final, front row here for the final. 40 drivers strong, KA Stars. Look at that, a little bit out of line coming into the front straightaway. Got some issues in the back. Do they give them the green this time? Hard to say. At least they're underway. It looks like we are green. I think we are. We're racing down to turns 2 and 3. So a slow start. We're racing down to 4. Jones, the leader. Wettengeld back to second after he lost P2 into turn number 4. And they'll go side by side all the way through the bowl for the first time. The leading group, about 9 drivers strong, going back to Danny Dzelski, Jones, Wettengeld, Connor Ferris, Aiden Levy, I believe, is in the mix there. He is down in the 7th position. My mistake, it was the Lando Norris car to Jake Walker, who's got a problem. Out of turn 8, he'll get passed by Gavin Bailiff, and Weston Workman working his way by.
Yeah, it was a messy start there. It's almost like these guys didn't know we were going green. Hayden Jones benefited from it. Tyler Wettengeld got caught out, but he's back into second place, looking to hunt Hayden Jones down, who has been dominant all weekend long.
Massive mistake for Jake Walker there. I mean, that really hurt his race. He dropped back a number of spots already, down to the 8th position, was up in 4th, and on that leading group tail. Now there's some separation for the top 3, so Gavin Bailiff is going to have to go to work to catch the leaders, as again, not sure what happened to the Lando Norris kart for Brandon Jarczyk Racing and Jake Walker. But now we've got 2 packs split up already at the end of lap 1. The top 3 led by Hayden Jones with Wettengeld and Ferris. Here's Wettengeld looking for the lead. Turn 8, he's through. Tyler Wettengeld to the point under the lights. Connor Ferris trying for second. Can't do it. Jones parks it on the apex, holds on to P2. Good news for the pack behind as Aiden Levy went by Gavin Bailiff. Let's see if Levy can get rolling to catch his fellow hometown locals there in 2nd and 1st, as there's a pass by Walker. He gets by Weston Workman there at the end of the train for 7th.
Yeah, Tyler Wettengeld, your new leader. Hayden Jones smartly leaving a lot of room. He knows this is a long race. No need to make any contact early on, as they still have a...
Whoa, Brooke Nachtman all the way outside of turn number 10 and 11. My goodness. Brooke Nachtman getting knocked outside the barriers. Nearly took out our camera crew through the dirt.
Yeah, making a new racetrack there. But back to the leaders. Tyler Wettengeld, your leader, Hayden Jones, and Connor Ferris in 3rd. But Aiden Levy trying to make it a 4-cart train. I think Gavin Bailiff's trying to go with him here.
There they go through turn number 9 here. Look at that. Jones hops a little bit to the double right-hander. He loses some ground to Wettengeld. Connor Ferris, little gap back as there we go. Pass for 4th. Gavin Bailiff, I think.
No, that was Danny Dzelski.
Yeah, Dzelski on a tear that lap. Pick up 2 spots. Move him to P4. Levy to 5th. Bailiff 6th.
Yeah, these Trinity Karting Group karts are really flying. Dzelski in 4th and Bailiff in 6th. As Hayden Jones back to the lead. Wettengeld giving him plenty of room there, knowing no need to race this early on.
We'll pick them up out of the bowl here this time. Look at this through turns 5 and 6. Hayden Jones leading the way once again. He was able to slowly walk away in that pre-final. Tyler Wettengeld was the only guy that had anything for him. And it's a big lead group here going back to Jake Walker. We talked to a few drivers at the beginning of this one. Let's give you some updates. Chase Jones up a few spots. He's to 9th. Leader as the best of the rest currently with a 3-car group behind Jake Walker. Talked to Dalton Haynes. He's up a number of spots already to 22nd and digging for more, hoping to get to the top 10. Needs them to fight for the lead, though. Hayden Jones almost purple that time by, trying to pull away.
Yeah, Dzelski purple again this time by. But like I said, Jake Walker back up to 8th place after a bobble in the first lap there. He's looking to get redemption after a few poor heats there.
Yeah, he's trying to get there on him here as they go on through. Let's see them work their way over through the bowl this time once again as they go around through turn number 7 into the hairpin here. Tyler Wettengel starting to work together with Hayden Jones. I think he's content to follow him. We can see back in the group there, Chase Jones been passed by Finnegan Bailiff and Keegan Bosch. They now have cracked their way into the top 10. And here's that wide shot of the entire racetrack here. They go up the hill to the final corner. Hayden Jones will take them onto the front straightaway. 5 laps complete, 11 minutes, 30 seconds to go down to turn number 1 with a big-time lead for the main group as they're starting to pull back away from the midfield. No more changes. Dalton Haynes that time the update to 20th. So 11 spots gained so far for the 917. He's in the middle of a midfield group.
Yeah,
and
Wettengel back to the lead on Hayden Jones. That was closer, and I think they would both like it, but it was still clean racing. Wettengel back to the lead of the race.
So Tyler Wettengel controlling the group now into turn number 8. Jones going to go back on him quickly. And there is Connor Ferris to follow. And here we go. The pack will tighten up to turn number 9. It's going to be a big group altogether. Hayden Jones knows how important it is to lead these big groups because he got bit by it when the leader, Dalton Haynes, was blocking so hard that when he finally couldn't get around him and had the bumper get stuck, he dropped 15 positions. He wants to lead this entire main event. So far, he's led the most of it as Keegan Bosch goes purple down in the 9th position.
Yeah, like you said, Hayden Jones, he really enjoys leading these races. He knows what it's like to not lead, and that means contact most likely in a class as big as Wettengel. Down the inside, Connor Ferris going to shut the door on him in turn 4.
Wow, surprised to see Ferris slam the door shut there on Tyler Wettengel as they go on through the infield section here. Hayden Jones takes them on through down to turn number 8. Look at Wettengel again. This time he'll be able to fully complete the pass, and Dzelski is going to try and go with him. He'll shuffle Ferris wide. Ferris hangs on the outside. Dzelski's going to get burned. Levy's through. Here's Gavin Bailiff on his teammate. Working the inside in 9. Trying to get by, and he does. Workman still there. Does Workman go on Dzelski in 11? No, not this time, but Jake Walker has caught that pack.
Yeah, it's that easy to lose spots in this class. I mean, Dzelski was trying to make a move for 3rd, and instead he found himself in 6th position. Hayden Jones, a personal best that time by all alone. He's actually extended his lead here over Tyler Wettengel. Hayden Jones' car is super strong in clean air.
Yeah, super strong for Hayden Jones in clean air. Half a second out right now. He's just on the verge, but Tyler Wettengel is, the guy that looks to me like the only one that has the pace to challenge him, and he's still close enough. He'll get a sniff of draft. He could bring that pack back up to the 903. So Jones, Wettengel, look at this. That's Bailiff on the inside of Aiden Levy. Up to 4th for Gavin Bailiff in the TKG Kart Republic. He'll get a little bit closer towards the front of the field.
Yeah, hopefully these guys can continue to work together because I think they can catch Hayden Jones. Looking at the back of that pack, that's Jake Walker up in 8th. He's actually made up a lot of spots after that bad start for him. Still, Hayden Jones, your leader, personal best, about a 10th or 2 faster than the guys behind him, so he's continuing to stretch his lead.
Look at this here. Keegan Bosch last time by. He was even pace to the leaders again. The drivers on the outside edge of the top 10. Finnegan Bailiff as well. Even Chase Jones. I mean, they're running lap times comparable to the entire top 10. It's just a matter of starting position here, and they need to battle a little bit more to open the door up. That time by, Jones was half a tenth better than Wettengel. Let's see if Wettengel's any bit better. He's trying to close up. This could have been the gap that Hayden Jones needed to pull away and try to score the victory. Out of turn number 8 this time over to 9. Jones, Wettengel, Ferris, Bailiff, and then Levy. Your top 5 currently here. Levy's going to come under fire, I think, from Dzelski sooner rather than later, though. He's starting to lose some ground to Gavin Bailiff for 4th.
Yeah, hopefully these guys behind Hayden Jones start to wise up a little bit as Gavin Bailiff goes purple. But if these guys start to smart up, they can work together and catch Hayden Jones because, again, 2 is faster than 1, but clearly Hayden Jones doesn't need to work with anybody to be fast.
Well, they were in identical lap times down the entire top 7. All of them within 0.04 of a second, slowest to fastest. So while Gavin Bailiff goes purple, he was only 1,000th better than Jones. Jones was 2,000ths better than Tyler Wettengel, and the rest of the pack was within half a tenth there. So it is unreal how closely matched all these guys are right now. Probably frustrating from a driver's perspective, although look at Hayden Jones. What a gap he's able to pull out of the hairpin in turn number 9.
Yeah, that card is just on absolute rails. But like you said, I mean, that just shows how good this KA Stars class has been for the Stars Challenge under the lights here on the Night Fight at GoPro Motorplex. Looking back up the field, though, Hayden Jones has, I think, stretched his lead even more over Tyler Wettengel.
Yeah, he was able to open. No, it stayed about the same, exactly half a second. It just was rubber banding. That time, give a 5,000th improvement to Wettengill. Look at this. Battling back for the 5th position. I mentioned Dzelski was going to go. He went on Levy. Levy went back on him there in the bowl. So Levy back to 5th. Bailiff now gets away. Dzelski to 6th. And then it is still Weston Workman just following them all into 7th position. Now he's actually gone by Dzelski. My mistake. So Workman up to 6th. Dzelski back to 7th. There's Jake Walker and Keegan Bosch at the end of that group. And it looks like Bosch has company because Finnegan Bailiff has followed him forward a little bit along with Chase Jones a little further back.
Yeah, I think Keegan Bosch is the last guy in that group. Finnegan Bailiff is a little bit further back than he'd like from that group. But Tyler Wettengill goes purple. Never mind. I believe that was Keegan Bosch goes purple. He's the final guy in that big group. But looking up front, Tyler Wettengill has closed that gap. And when I say closed, I mean by half a tenth, but still half a tenth a lap. They'll get to him by the end of this race.
Yeah, let's see if he can get there here as they go through turn number 4. Turn number 5 here through the infield. That pack all tightening up. Keegan Bosch making it a 5-car grouping for 5th on back as Levy leads them into the hairpin. And then up front, Tyler Wettengill is bringing him forward. Look at that. Workman on the inside of Levy runs him wide. He'll bring the cavalry through. Jake Walker gets burned a little bit as Bosch goes through. So Bosch up another position. He gets to 8th. Quickest driver on the circuit. Ran a 50.500. He was quickest by half a tenth the lap before. Now give the purple lap time to Tyler Wettengill. He just ate up a tenth and a half out of the lead of Hayden Jones. So he's hanging in there. 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go. The top 3 have pulled away. Connor Ferris, your points leader. Hayden Jones, Tyler Wettengill. 1, 2, 3. Then we go back there to Gavin Bailiff in 4th.
Yeah, the pace of these top 3 has been super impressive. I mean, GoPro Motorplex, notoriously a brutal track on the body, but Hayden Jones, Wettengill, and Ferris put down their personal best laps on lap 12. They just continually take time out of 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Oh, we had contact over there back in turn number 4. A number of drivers collected over there in the bowl. And we got more off. Dalton Haynes is off over at the exit of the bowl. He was up as high as 17th. He had just set the best lap of the race. And he was in a group there with his brother Roman. And I don't know if they got together there for 16th.
Hopefully not.
Big brother started a whole lot higher than little brother there in that time. But Dalton Haynes gets collected there, and that's an unfortunate end to the night here for Dalton.
Yeah, Wettengill only 100 faster that time by. They are literally matching each other's lap times. It has stayed at 3/10 for 5 laps straight.
He's just inching his way forward. Couple hundredths here, half a tenth there. Every once in a while, he'll get a tenth on him. As we see into the scale line goes Dalton Haynes. His night is done. Back to the leaders here. Jones takes them out of turn 8. He knows that they're there. They're waiting on a mistake. I mean, they both have been unbelievably precise. Connor Ferris as well isn't right there. He said early on the weekend, well, his grandpa told him he sucked. So, you know what, he needed to not suck. And seems like he's not sucking too bad right now. He's 3rd. A car length back from Wettengill. Wettengill that time, another 400ths given off the lead from Hayden Jones. And they'll head down the back straightaway here this time. Still with time to go. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. And unfortunately, again, Dalton Haynes' night coming to an early end. We'll send it down to Jed Perkins. He's caught up with Dalton Haynes after a frustrating ending. He's over in the scale line here. Let's see what's up with, unfortunately, the driver who won pre-final B. Jed?
Thanks, Xander. I'm down here with Dalton Haynes. Dalton, tough break for you there. You want to run me through how it was going and what ended up happening?
Yeah, no, just KA racing. Just people in the back when I'm passing through. I didn't touch him at all. This dude just sends it on someone super late and just cleans him out right in front of me. And my brother was pushing me through, so I just barely clipped this front bumper, and then I'm out of the race. It's just people like that in KA. It's because KA is easy to drive. People that are not as good will just run really fast lap times. They have no race scrap. That's just the perfect example of it. I mean, there's nothing I can do. I'm kind of mad. Like, I'm pretty pissed off, but, like, what can you do with it? It's just another KA race. I'm not too bothered by it.
Dalton Haynes, a privateer and local at this track, obviously showed some really good pace this weekend, but has some bad luck in the final. We'll go back to you guys up in the booth.
Thank you, Jed, here again. Unfortunate and understandably frustrated Dalton Haynes there, like he said, just a product of someone else's mess in front of him, collecting as they crashed for 15th and 14th, and it took him out as well. He's over in the scale line as they had multiple drivers off, and I'm sure a similar thought probably coming from Brooke Knockman's camp as well, as she got sent outside the barriers. I don't think I've ever seen someone, Alex, I don't know about you, getting knocked so far off the racetrack going in the kink to turn number 10 here that you go behind the plastic wall.
Yeah, I'd love to see that happen. I mean, it seems like Brooke was making a new racetrack. She was so far away from the tarmac there, about got near the camera crew there. Luckily, she came out unscathed.
Well, either way here, again, we've lost quite a few big names. Knockman, Haynes out. However, the main two, and really the main three here from this weekend, are still at the front of the fight. Tyler Wettengel, Hayden Jones right there. Jones the leader. He's given up a couple tenths, couple hundredths really, every lap. Tyler Wettengel has inched his way forward. He's clawed his way up. Jones knows he's coming. Wettengel can see the gap just barely shrinking. We're down to 1.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. 2 car lengths. Tyler Wettengel, Connor Ferris, another 10th lopped off the gap to Hayden Jones.
Wow, I am in awe of these three up front. They just traded purple laps from each other. This is incredible stuff that we're seeing from these leaders, as Wettengel seems to really be closing the deal on Hayden Jones.
Like Dalton Haynes said, we've seen a lot of the classic K8 and 206 racing this weekend where with the speeds being lower, with the horsepower lower, you can get to the level of the leaders a lot easier. But the top three right now, they are finding another gear really, being able to pull away a little bit more, being able to dig deep, find a little more speed. Jones especially leading this grouping. You have to give a lot of credit to him. He is hooked up out of turn 9. Coming this time, 40 seconds plus 2 laps to go. Tyler Wettengel has to be absolutely perfect. Oh, the 2 to go signal's coming. So 2 to go here. 2 laps remaining. Wettengel close it on up as they go up the hill.
Yeah, Wettengel goes purple that time. The 2 to go came out earlier than I thought it would, and I think for these guys as well, as Wettengel closes up again, exiting 3. But again, that gap has stayed at 2.5 tenths for 3 laps straight. Wettengel only taking out 200th on Hayden Jones.
So let's see, can Tyler Wettengel get there? A car length back. Rolls speed through 6. Looks like he lost a little bit on exit. Jones looks good there. Here's the best part of the racetrack for Hayden Jones. He's able to get that cart rolled through turn number 8 and roll a lot of speed through turn number 9. Tyler Wettengel trying to close up, trying to find a little bit more. Out of turn 9, white flag coming this time by. 1 lap to go for Hayden Jones.
Yeah, let's see what Hayden can do on this last lap. He's got to be picture perfect here because Wettengel's there to pounce. As Hayden Jones put in the fastest lap of the race, only 5 thousandths quicker than Tyler Wettengel. These two have found another gear again on lap 19 to go purple.
Yeah, unbelievable how quick they're going. We heard from Weston Workman, the tire degradation's been massive. Here's the next pack they're going through. Dzelski leads. What a gap all the way back. 5 seconds the top 3 have pulled away. Wettengel, little slide there through 6. You can see they're on the absolute ragged edge. He's hopping in the seat. He wants to get there. Goes in a little bit too hot to turn number 8. That'll open the gap up. Turn 9, final time. Hayden Jones, an independent effort. An awesome run here this week. He has been the man to beat, the fastest driver all weekend. And under the lights, Hayden Jones wins the night fight in KA Stars.
Wow, unbelievable driving from Hayden Jones, Wettengel, and Connor Ferris. They just knocked it up another notch. They found an 8th gear in these go-karts. Unbelievable stuff.
We'll definitely have to see how many of the top drivers we can talk to. Jones, Wettengel, Connor Ferris, Danny Dzelski. There they go on by. A little shake and congratulations there for Wettengel and Ferris to Hayden Jones on the cool-down lap, and a big kudos to them. Let's take you through the top 10 and the results from the night fight here in KA Stars. Again, Hayden Jones, a big-time win here. He's able to pull away and just manage that gap, just find a touch more over everybody else after fighting early on. Wettengel, Ferris, Dzelski, Bailiff, Weston Workman, Keegan Bosch in 7th, Jake Walker 8th, Finnegan Bailiff 9th, and Aiden Levy fell all the way outside the top 10, or to the edge of the top 10 there. You go back further, Roman Haynes got up to 11th, Chase Jones, hovered in 13th, got forward a little bit, didn't have ultimately enough to really get rolling, but the best lap times for everybody, I mean, as a whole, pretty close. And then all the way down the field there, going down, you see some of the guys getting on a pre-final P. Mick Gabriel got up to 17th. Art Charger, I believe, coming through the pack. So some major runs and then some major disappointments there at the end with the DNFs all the way at the bottom. Dalton Haynes gets scored 35th. Will Robusto, Trevor Watson, Gavin Griffin, Brooke Knockman got knocked out on the very first lap, and Anthony DeCesaro, the pre-final B hero who transferred in to the final spot, unfortunately also a DNF as well. As there you are in the scale line, you can see everyone getting out after a hot and hard 20-lap final for the KA Stars. Tyler Wettengel, Hayden Jones, Connor Ferris. We'll see if we can get a word with as many of the top drivers as we can here from that one. But closing thoughts on that there, Alex. Again, hot night and a big amount of kudos for sure to Hayden Jones for how quick they were going. And the final few laps is unreal.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've seen 3 guys just kick it up another gear than everybody else. Those last 5 laps, they were consistently 5 and 6/10 faster a lap than anybody else on the racetrack. I mean, to put in a purple lap on lap 19 of 20, that's just impressive.
Yeah, you can see Tyler Wettengel going into the scale line now. Hopefully we can get a hold of him, and we can get Connor Ferris maybe chat with us a little bit as well. Hayden Jones coming into view. We'll clear them out and try and talk to them here. Send it on down to Jed. As there you can see Hayden Jones. Long, hot night here. A little bit sweaty in the humidity, but under the lights, he's victorious. And the RPG livery as a privateer entry comes away with the win here. Jed, let's send it on down to you here with our race winner in KA Stars.
Hayden Jones with an awesome performance there. Hayden, walk me through that final. Saw Tyler and Connor. They were trying their best to reach your back bumper, but you just had too much pace on them, it looked like.
I know. They were there the whole race. I was just trying to make perfect laps happen, and we got it done.
Now, how hard is that mentally to be leading, see the guys kind of run you down, but still continue to hit your marks and not make any mistakes?
It's just like an oh shit kind of moment. Like, you really need to start going. And then once I finally got the tires up to temp, I just started pushing.
Congrats to Hayden Jones as he adds another big win to his resume tonight.
Thank you again to Hayden Jones for speaking with us here, and a big congratulations to him. Like he said there, thank you, Jed, for grabbing him. We'll see if we can get maybe Wettengel or Connor Ferris, some of the other contenders, as they push on through the scale line. The Pro Stars field getting set to go green here in just a few moments as they get set for more action here coming this way. So we are live here from Mooresville, North Carolina, and again, it is a dark night sky. You can see the scissor lifts in the background there up in the top. And what a beautiful racetrack lit up here with the stadium level lighting. The Stars Championship Series made this place look awesome. All the feather flags around, all around the racetrack, the NKA crew, the Stars team, and you can see a little more work being done on the racetrack as they clear it out for the Pro Stars field. This one obviously not the same as what we've seen with the KA Stars class. We've seen really only 2 drivers shine head and shoulders above, and that is, of course, Vincenzo Saracino and Talon Yockel. Who you got here for tonight's main event, Alex?
Oh, man, I think it's going to really depend who gets the whole shot. I think they've split them pretty much all weekend long. I'm going to go with Talon Yockel. I think he's just consistently had about half a tenth on Saracino, but we'll see.
It'll be tough to guesstimate here. I think Saracino for sure has been holding back a little bit. If you look at the pre-final, Vincenzo Saracino, I thought, and I called it over the mic, he could have pulled the trigger a couple of times, but he didn't. So I'm not sure where he's going to stand here for the main event, but I think Vincenzo Saracino maybe was kind of holding one arm behind his back in that pre-final. I think he could have something here for Talon Yockel, and who knows, someone might have found a little more pace over the gap here to get themselves a little bit more. Well, we get set for the Pro Stars field. Let's send it down. Connor Ferris, your championship leader here, comes away with another podium. He was close. Let's send it over to him. He's caught up with Jed Perkins. Jed?
Yeah, real quick before we get started here, Connor, you were fast all weekend, had some great pace there. How'd your final go?
It went okay. Not the result we wanted, but wasn't bad. Hayden was flying out there. No matter what we did, we couldn't catch him. We'll try again next time.
Yeah, what do you think it was that Hayden had? I know both you and Tyler are pretty frustrated, but also happy with your results at the scale. So what do you think set Hayden Jones so far apart?
He's been here so much. He's so consistent. Hard to beat that. He drove good.
Wise words from Connor Ferris as we get ready for our Pro Star start.
Thank you, Jed, here. Congrats again to Connor Ferris. He extends that championship points lead over the field with another consistent run here in the main event for the KA Stars field. Tyler Wettengel, we'll see maybe how his thoughts were on the end of that night as he, of course, ends up as the runner-up. But first up, let's go green with Pro Stars on the front row. We've talked about it. The whole shot has been the story of the weekend, has been the story of Shifter Racing for a lot of the 2022 season, and you're going to get to see it. It's the biggest spectacle in kart racing in the boxes. To the start lights now as the officials walk off the racetrack. We're ready. To the Track Light Safety System North America. Red lights. We're on. Pro Stars. The night fight is away. And the whole shot will go to Talon Yockel on the inside lane. Saracino jumps into second. They rocket up the hill to turn number 3. No stalls off the green. Here we go down the backstretch. Saraceno had a look in the pre-final, can't get there here in the main, and look at that behind him. What a start for the midfield as we've got a few new faces off the green. I think Josh Conker has slotted into third here off the line.
Yeah, great start there from Josh Conker. Uncharacteristic of Ian Quinn. He actually almost stalled the go-kart there, about lost all those positions, but he's able to keep it the fourth place.
Yeah, there they go down the inside here on through as they work their way over to turn number 9. We'll head out over to the final corner and up the hill for the first lap. Here we go. One lap complete. Talon Yockel, Vincenzo Saraceno come across the line. Down to turn number 1. Let's see the gaps here at the end of the first lap. A little bit about a half-second margin between them. Yockel, 4/10 back to Saraceno. 6 to 7/10 back to Josh Conker. As Jed Perkins joins me back here in the booth. Ian Quinn is 4th. Zach Frank is 5th. Blake Hunt is 6th. So the midfield's shaken up off the start. We've seen, again, not a whole lot, not any actually passing for the lead, but a few attempts. And you think here the lights are on, the sparks are flying. It's the main event time. Do they really start to get after it? Well, there it is right there. Blake Hunt, Adam Brickley side by side out of turn number 8. They'll race, and we got one driver way off the racetrack in turn number 8. Down at the bottom of the infield, has gone off. I'm not sure who we just lost over there. That is one of the Hardin Motorsports Group entries. Might be Ryan Aiden Jr. in the 499. Not 100% sure. We'll confirm that across the line. Bouncing just in front of the announcer booth. It indeed was the 499 of Ryan Aiden Jr., who is out here on lap number 2, is up front. Saraceno, your quickest driver so far here. He's a couple tenths better than Talon Yockel early on, Jed.
Yeah, Saraceno coming on strong here. We saw those two drivers, Yockel and Saraceno, come so close at the finish of the pre-final. So more of the same here in the final. There's Josh Conker and Ian Quinn run 3rd and 4th right now, but Yockel and Saraceno in a world of their own really all weekend. And they've been so dead nuts even. Have to see what Saraceno plans to do here. Might save his tires a bit and make a late race lunge as Talon Yockel goes purple across the line last time by.
Yeah, Talon Yockel there, purple. So that allows that gap to open up. We got more problems here on the front straightaway. I think we've got, it's one of the Magic Card entries, Blake Korth, I believe, with a problem out of the final corner in the 431.
I think it's Lucas
Catania.
Yeah.
Catania's out.
He's
My
out.
apologies. Yeah, Catania out on the front straightaway as Saraceno tries to close up to Talon Yockel. He's been the only one to challenge him. Josh Conker, super impressive for the Canadian to be on the rock package and to be close to the top 2 here at a track he's never driven at before, at least to my knowledge, for the 454. Josh Conker. He might have been here maybe last year, but obviously not a home racetrack, not a home track advantage for the 454, coming all the way from north of the border and driving down at that as well.
Yeah, got to respect the push as Talon Yockel goes purple again last time by with a 46.167. So Talon stretching his legs early on into this final as Vincenzo Saraceno doing his best to keep that gap at bay. But right now, Yockel seems to have the upper hand. Looks like they got 4/10 between each other. So not sure if Saraceno is trying to play the long game here and save his stuff for the end. So we look at our mid-pack battle there. Things starting to tighten up.
Yeah, there they go out of turn number 9 here. Zach Frank just up the road from Adam Brickley, who's had a really solid debut in the Pro Stars class. I mean, he's been getting his elbows out. He's been racing hard. Look at this battle back. Annie Rule talked about her having the issue with the DQ for the wrong tires in the pre-final. She has worked her way up into 8th from the back of the grid and still digging for more as she gets by Devin Smith-Hart and now locks on to Blake Hunt for 7th. So good run in the works here for Annie Rule from the back of the grid. While up front, Yockel and Saraceno half a second apart here with 10 minutes and 30 seconds to go plus 2 laps.
Yeah, Zach Frank, Adam Brickley, and Blake Hunt having a good battle there in the mid-pack. You see them come into view there. Those 2 Formula K carts looking good.
Down the front straightaway here this time. 6 laps complete. 4 minutes, 45 seconds underway. Here's Blake Hunt. And you're watching the FK Leading Edge Motorsports driver there. Then there's the top 2 here. Yockel and Saraceno. Then Josh Conker and Ian Quinn. And they're running lap times even to the leaders. That time by, at least they were. The leaders do have a couple laps better than 3rd and 4th, but that time by 1, 2, 3, and 4, even on lap times
In fact, the whole top 10 was pretty even. Almost all of them in the same 10th bracket there, Jed.
Yeah, Ian Quinn and Josh Conker throwing down some decent lap times, but right now up front, no one's got anything for Talon Yockel as he keeps that gap between him and Saraceno at about 4/10 as they come by one more time there. Really no one's improving lap time-wise. Saraceno goes better with that 46.242, and that gap's going to stay at about 4/10. 2 seconds back to Conker and Quinn, who are running together. Then you have those Formula K guys, Zach Frank, Adam Brickley, Blake Hunt, 5 seconds back. Annie Rule making her way through the field after that DQ, 5 seconds off the leader. So,
yeah, Annie Rule again trying to get up there. We'll see if she can get to Blake Hunt's rear bumper. She's pretty close here in that little group, headed through turn number 9, while Yockel takes him out of the final corner down the front straightaway here, 4/10 of a second for himself. Back to Vincenzo Saraceno, 3rd and 4th. Conker with Ian Quinn right there. Calvin Ming, obviously he had an issue in that pre-final as well as Rule. I think both of them had the same issue. So Ming is down in the 9th spot. Rule is 8th, and they were 3rd and 4th in the pre-final. So with a lot of work to be done, they're starting to climb their way up the order, but everyone's kind of starting to stabilize a bit on lap times. Talon Yockel, at least that lap, he put a 10th and a half back up on Saraceno. But this group right here, Josh Conker, Ian Quinn, they're just kind of riding right now, 3rd and 4th. I mean, they're doing everything they can to stay close. Conker, I'm sure, to pull away. Quinn to pull forward, but neither one able to make any headway. Across the line this time by, 9 laps completed here about halfway into this main event with 8 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
yeah, coming close to that halfway point. And right now you got to think a lot of them kind of just laying low, saving their tires and carts, maybe for those last couple laps to try and make a lunge for whatever position they may be going for. As you see Ian Quinn kind of just following Josh there.
Look at this group here coming out of turn number 4. They're getting really tight together. Annie Rule and Calvin Ming all over Blake Hunt and Adam Brickley. Hunt's gone by Brickley, it looks like. So Blake Hunt back up to 6th. Brickley back to 7th. And look at that. Brickley right back on Hunt there in turn number 8. He's able to get him. Oh, and they're still going at it. These guys on chassis manufacturer teammates, but they're on their own. And they're side by side still up the hill. Looks like Hunt was able to get back on him, and look at that. Annie Rule gets by in 11 with them fighting. Brickley drops another position. Here comes Calvin Ming inside turn 1. Oh! Devin Smith-Harden gets in a little bit too hot at the first corner.
Yeah, what a hit. He went straight into the back bumper there. Super aggressive driving.
Welcome to the big leagues, Adam Brickley. My goodness. Again, like you said, that's a shot in the back right there.
Yeah, he's going to feel that one tomorrow.
Well, the good news is here, he's young. I think only 14 or 15 years old for Adam Brickley. Still, I think in that age, you could say they're built out of rubber. So hopefully he's all right. But, man, he took a shot, and not malicious at all. He just backed off to let Annie Rule or to let Ming get through as Ming was down on the inside. And when he did, Smith-Harden, I think, was thinking he was going to fight the outside more. All together, Josh Conker, 2 car lengths up on Ian Quinn, still 3rd and 4th. That's the fight on your screen right now. Talon Yockel, he's pulled away massively. I don't know if Vincenzo Saraceno's got a problem, but in the last 2 laps, he's given up 6 or 7 tenths. So it's a 1.6 second lead now for the leader, Talon Yockel. And Alex's pick looking pretty good here so far in the main event for Pro Stars with 6 minutes and 2 laps to go. Here's Quinn. He was close that time to Conker. He's trying it for 3rd. Ian Quinn is through and onto the podium. No, Conker's back on the outside. Turn 9. Still fighting for P3. Quinn gets it done.
Good for Ian Quinn. Slots into that 3rd position. Ian had a bit of a rough start to the weekend, but he's really found his pace here. He slots into that 3rd position, and yeah, Xander, you're right. Looks like Yockel's going to throw up an even bigger gap on Saraceno last time by. Basically 2 seconds between those two. Not really sure what's going on with Saraceno. Tough break for him, but...
Yeah, no idea what's going on with Vincenzo. 12 laps complete, 1.9 seconds back. At this point here, we've got 5 minutes and 2 laps to go. I don't know if he's going to be able to get any bit closer. Ian Quinn looking for a first career Pro Stars podium. Now again, Josh Conker, that's not in class. Conker, of course, leads the Rock Stars. That's the division that Blake Hunt and Adam Brickley are also competing in, the subclass of the Pro Star shifter class, where it's the Rock GP or Rock shifter motor, not the open KZ engine option package. So Quinn on the box. Third overall will be a nice boost to the ego there. And look at that. I mean, he's catching up to Saraceno. Saraceno dropped off another second. Vincenzo Saraceno, whatever he's holding on to here, Ian Quinn is seeing it, and I think he's trying to dig forward to get to second. So Vincenzo Saraceno, the driver that won round one, became king of the castle, was challenging and won the opening heat race here under the lights at this time of night last night. And now, well, I guess a little bit earlier with heat 2 last night, but now he's got a problem. I don't know what the issue is, but he's dropping speed massively.
Yeah, it's almost like his tires are just gone at this point as you see Ian Quinn come into view there. Ian smelling that second place finish, and he's really pushing now. Yeah, you can see those two drivers. Ian not far off coming down the front stretch. It'll be interesting. See what the gap was last time by. Yeah, it looks about 4/10 separate second and third, Saraceno and Quinn. So we look further back in the pack here.
Yeah, there they go. Through turn number 4. Vincenzo Saraceno, 4 to 5 kart lengths up on Ian Quinn. Through the infield chicane, through 6. I mean, Quinn's coming. Saraceno picked up the pace a little bit last time by, trying to hang on. I don't know what, again, is going wrong. It looks to me like probably more of a loss of power. I'd be surprised to see tire deg be that big of an issue, especially because they get a second set of tires. I would have thought they would have all, at least up front, saved it for this main event here. And Saraceno's kind of picked it back up as he's faded back down to Quinn. This time by, let's see what the lap time looks like. Yeah, he evens back out. And so Talon Yockel and Ian Quinn are able to run the same lap time. So whatever that was, whatever that weird deal issue, it's not seeming to be a problem anymore. As we see lap traffic giving way to the leaders. Going to the outside into turn number 4, Zach Frank kind of riding a quiet race there in the 5th spot. Blake Hunt 6th. Calvin Ming has gone by Andy Roll for the 7th position. He still trails Blake Hunt by about 6 or 7 tenths of a second.
Yeah, you had to think that Saraceno kind of burned those tires in the pre-final when he was pushing super hard those last 6 laps to get by Yockel, but looks more to be like a power issue or something else going on with the kart, but seems to be okay as of right now. As Ian Quinn getting awfully close down the front stretch there. See what the gap was last time by. It looks about 2 tenths, roughly 2 tenths between those two drivers. Seen Ian Quinn in all sorts of different series and karts. No, he's raced 206, X30, KA, you name it. And he's really focused on his shifter class the past year or so as you see him come into view of Saraceno there.
Through turn 6 and 7. Into turn number 8 here. Saraceno down to the inside. Ian Quinn's only 2 car lengths back, headed to turn number 9. Through 9. Out of 9 now over to the short chute 10 and 11. And they'll go up the hill this time. Out of the final corner. Vincenzo Saraceno just needs to hang on for 2 more minutes and 2 more laps after that for a second place result and manage the points lead. Because again, he's given up a lot of points this weekend to Talon Yockel. Yockel got the pole in qualifying, won Heat 2, won the pre-final, is on his way to winning his first career shifter event, his first career Pro Stars win, and his second ever start on the Stars Championship Series. And again, that could put him really, I think it might put him in the championship lead, but I'm not 100% sure. As Saraceno, of course, won the main event, but he did not win all the heats and have the level of results that Yockel did in Newcastle. So this time by, a minute to go, more or less. Saraceno needs to hang on to this second spot, and I think he knows it. That's why he's all of a sudden dug deep and found a way to make the pace work.
Yeah, Saraceno fighting with all he's got right now. Stay in that second position as Talon Yockel out front extends that lead to 3.1 seconds. So Talon, in a league of his own, really found some pace in the back half of this weekend. We saw Saraceno make a late charge at him in the pre-final, but besides that, it's been all Yockel today. As we look back at Saraceno and Quinn, start to plateau out with each other. We'll see if Quinn makes a late charge here.
Yeah, here they go through turn number 8, turn number 9. Oh, look at this. Calvin Ming on Blake Hunt, back behind. He was trying to get by turn 8. Could not get through. Out of turn number 9, Hunt hangs on. This is the fight for the 6th position. Calvin Ming trying to get some more spots on the field as they're just going to get in under the gun for 3 laps to go this time by. So 3 more laps around. Saraceno over Quinn for second and on the box. Josh Conker leads the way in Rockstars, 4th overall. Zach Frank 5th overall. This is 6th overall. Hunt versus Ming. Ming almost got him in the hairpin last time. He's working him again through 4. 2.5 laps to go. And that obviously a prime opportunity. Let's watch them close. Look at the sparks flying over the curbing there, Jed. And Ming went a little bit wide. He's still close enough. Here he comes on the bumper, looking inside.
Sends it.
Nice job, Calvin Ming to 6th.
Nice job by Calvin Ming there. He's super late on the brakes as we look back at the battle between Saraceno and Quinn, followed by Josh Conker, I want to say that was, but Saraceno and Quinn coming around here. Got the 2 to go last time by, so 2 laps left of our main Pro Rockstars final here. You see Saraceno and Quinn getting pretty close there.
Yeah, Ian Quinn's digging deep. I think that 2 to go signal gave him some extra life. He's closer than he's been in the last couple laps. Picked off 0.5 tenth last time by. 2 cars back is too far, but he's just got to get a little bit better. Even Saraceno knows he's there. Look how narrow Saraceno went to the hairpin that time. He's already blocking a little bit to hang on to 2nd. White flag coming this time by. 1 to go. Talon Yockel, the final lap of the Stars Championship Series night fight. Yockel there by the line. Here's the fight for 2nd. Quinn looking at it. Here's Annie Rule. That's back behind a little ways. They were fighting for 7th, 8th, and 9th as Blake Hunt continues to fade. Final time through for Talon Yockel. We haven't talked about him enough here in this main. It has been a solid weekend. Home turf, as he mentioned earlier on at the beginning of the broadcast, his home track, he knows it well. He's not able to, he's able to make it around without making too many mistakes. It's where he's learned to drive a shifter kart. And out of turn number 8 there, that gap is bigger. Vincenzo Saraceno hanging on for dear life for points. But I think we are looking at not just potentially a first-time winner, but the new championship leader out of the final turn. Talon Yockel is a Pro Stars winner in Pro Shifter.
Saraceno going to come home 2nd with Quinn, followed by Conker, Frank, Ming, and Hunt. Those are your top 7. I think Quinn might have dropped the wheel on the very last lap there, kind of eliminated any shot he had at Saraceno. But good run for Ian. Yeah. Solid weekend, found lots of pace. Blake Hunt, Adam Brinkley, Annie Rule coming up from last to finish 9th. And Devin Smith-Harden rounded out your top 10 for your Pro Rock Stars final here.
Yeah, all in all, again, Talon Yockel, flawless drive through that main event. We'll have to hopefully hear from Vincenzo Saraceno, see what in the world it was that went down for him that unfortunately hurt him there, obviously, at the end of this showing, because he had so much promise here to start this weekend with that Heat 1 win, with that whole shot in the first heat. From then on, Talon Yockel's gotten the best of the field, and he's able to come away with the win as Zach Frank comes into the scale line there. You see him, there goes Ming on in. Annie Rule on the final lap, unable to get by Blake Hunt, just a little bit shy. She had to defend a little bit too from pressure from behind as Devin Smith-Harden made her stay honest all the way to the checkered flag. Adam Brickley ends in 10th, but it's a big-time win on a big-time stage here. The winner of the night fight in the Stars Championship Series, Talon Yockel. He's getting some hugs here from the crowd, as you can see. There's Josh Conker. Little congratulations to Ian Quinn and a good job on the fight. Talon Yockel went straight over it, and there he gets the big hug from his competitors. And, of course, a lot of congratulations for him as he's able to come away with a first-time Stars Championship Series Pro Stars win. So Talon Yockel there. We'll see if we can get the helmets off. Talk to him here in just a moment as he comes over to with our Alexander Searle. It's been a beautiful night of racing here, Jed. And, again, let's take them all the way through the top 10 here. We'll bring up the results on your screen so you can see where they ended up at the end of the day here in the Pro Stars class. Talon Yockel, your winner as a whole over Vincenzo Saraceno by 3.7 seconds. Ian Quinn ended up in 3rd. Josh Conker, your winner of the Rockstars subdivision, 4th overall. Zach Frank, 5th. Calvin Ming, 6th. Blake Hunt in 7th. Annie Rule, Devin Smith-Harden, and Adam Brickley rounded off your top 10. You went down then to Brian Boley, Blake Korth, 11th and 12th. And then issues for Cameron Stogg, Eric Hugh, Lucas Catania, and Ryan Aiden Jr. all the way down to the DNFs at the end of the field there. We'll see if we can get Talon Yockel to come over here and step aside, talk with our Alexander Searle as they work their way over scales and tech. Of course, taking a look at the drivers. Ian Quinn, obviously, with a nice run. He ends up working his way on through, and they'll all push their way towards the scale line. But a beautiful night of racing here. Wrapping up, Jed Perkins, obviously your first time on the Crazy On Air broadcast. First time here with night racing. First time to GoPro Motorplex. A lot of first here for you, along with the first here for Talon Yockel with the win.
Yeah, a whole lot of firsts this weekend. Xander, I can't thank you enough for bringing me on the team, as well as the rest of the Kart Chaser crew. Learned so much this weekend. Also, first time at GoPro. First time the Stars Championship Series. Definitely a series you want to come out and get to if you can.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility here for the Stars Championship Series. It's an awesome summer night here in Mooresville, North Carolina, as the drivers continue to work their way through. There's Blake Hunt working his way through the scale line. He's had an up-and-down weekend. He was one of the fastest drivers through final practice and ultimately ends up crossing the line, hanging on to get a top 10 result there here on home turf for himself as well in that Formula K for Leading Edge Motorsports as they work their way on through the scales here for more post-race tech inspection, along with everything else here. Again, for those in the paddock area, if you can hang around for podium ceremonies, there'll be a ton of giveaways thanks to Summit Racing equipment still to come. There'll also be our vendor booths, I believe, are mostly open. I know the Kart Chaser crew still has the official merchandise tent available with our brand new t-shirts we just debuted here this weekend, along with some clearance shirts like the one on Alexander Searle there for the Big Easy from NOLA Motorsports Park. You can also get those online. You can also get your Stars Championship Series merch here this weekend on the vendor row as well. So let's see who we can talk to. I see Vincenzo Saraceno's over there. He's with Alex Searle. So we'll have him right at the fence line and chat with Vincenzo as, man, that one looked like it was rough to hang on to. So for Alexander Searle, as he brings us on down here to Vincenzo Saraceno, let's see if we can chat with him and see what we've got here for our driver that led the points coming into this weekend. King of the Castle winner, P2 here tonight. Alex?
Yeah, thank you, Xander. I'm here with Vincenzo Saraceno. Vincenzo, you didn't seem to have the pace out there that you had all weekend long. What seemed to go wrong?
Yeah, the first 2 laps were all right. I was staying with Talon, but lap 3, I noticed the temperature spiked to like 160, and then throughout the race it got hotter and hotter, and the water pump broke, the belt broke, and topped out at 248 degrees.
Yeah.
Trying to just nurse it home the rest of the race.
Yeah, well, you did a good job nursing it home. Other than that, I mean, how was the car handling for you?
The car was good, but it was just, my eyes were on the water temperature the whole time. The lights were blinking. I was just trying to watch the time go down and down, have the race over as quick as possible, because I thought it was going to blow by like lap 9, but luckily it held on.
Yeah, luckily for Vincenzo there. It was damage control race for him. A P2 finish in the KZ Star class.
Thank you here to Vincenzo Saraceno for talking with us and Alexander Searle as we'll wait on our race winner, Talon Yockel. He's making his way through post-race tech inspection right now. We'll work his way around to the fence line to talk to us for just a moment. Podium ceremonies, of course, will be coming up later on. But yeah, for Vincenzo, I mean, that's what it looked like, obviously, a motor problem. And like right around where he said lap 9, where he lost a lot of time. He lost about a second a lap for a couple of laps there. And that definitely played into it for Vincenzo. You could see how much the pace was lost. We were trying to figure out what it was. Ultimately, the water pump belt breaking. That's going to raise that temperature to 250 degrees. That's Jed, I know you're not as much on the 2-cycle side as the 4-cycle side, where we have the water pump, water temperatures being important. You've run a lot more air-cooled engines. 250 is obviously pretty high. I think anyone can see that.
Yeah, definitely something you're going to be worried about. Yeah, he probably had a hard time just buckling down and hitting his marks there, worrying about the engine blowing up next to him. But, yeah, tough break for Saraceno there. I really thought he was going to have a shot at Talon there for the final. See if we can catch up with Talon here semi-soon. But awesome night here of racing under GoPro Motorplex lights. Doesn't get better than this.
Yeah, just a beautiful night here again. We'll send it over to, there we go. It looks like we've got our race winner here getting ready to get set down to Alexander Searle. I was going to send it to commercial for a moment, but we finally caught up with him as we all get set here to talk to him. So Talon Yockel down with Alexander Searle. And the brand new Magic suit, it's a 1-for-1 for that Magic Kart USA brand new white, black, and orange suit. Let's send it on down to Alex here with a very happy first time winner on the Pro Stars class. Alex?
Yeah, thank you, Xander. I'm here with Talon Yockel. Talon, it was pretty clean sailing there. The kart seemed to be just on rails. How good is this Magic Kart for you?
It was perfect out there. From lap 1 to final lap, it was consistent. I stayed within the same tenth of my fastest lap. Just had to keep it in one piece.
Yeah, it's an awesome drive for you. Who would you like to thank for this victory?
Obviously, I'd like to thank Magic Kart USA. I'd like to thank AJ for coaching me and pushing me every time I go out on track. I'd like to thank Robbie and Andrew. Thank my dad for, helping me out. I'd like to thank everyone who supports me, basically. SRP Engines as well, we can't forget them.
Awesome. Talon Yockel, everybody. Your winner in KZ Stars under the lights here at GoPro Motorplex for the Night Fight Stars Championship race.
Thank you, Alex, here. And again, congratulations to Talon Yockel. That will wrap up our live stream here, at least for the moment. So we will take a bit off the air. The podium ceremonies are coming your way here for the Stars Championship Series. And just around the corner from GoPro Motorplex will give us some time before we come back with them. But in the meantime here, we want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in live to Kart Chaser's official coverage of the Stars Championship Series. And we're going to take down all of our equipment, get ready for the next one. If you're tuning in for Kart Chaser coverage, of course, the U.S. Pro Kart Series of Road America is next. If you're watching for the Stars Championship Series, that's next up in about a couple months' time at New Jersey Motorsports Park, a track that hasn't seen a Touring Series event since 2018. And, of course, tomorrow, or if you're watching the KC coverage, the Texas Sprint Series is back on the air at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. For Jed Perkins, Alexander Searle, the rest of the KC team, my name's Xander Clements. Thank you for tuning in here tonight. And podium ceremonies here for those in the paddock will be underway shortly.